Our new partner who I'm really, really excited to announce we are working with. Super, super stoked. Thank you, Angie Huberman, for this connect. It's incredible. AG1 Athletic Greens. I've been using them for a while. I have them every morning on an empty stomach. Basically, take one scoop and you put it into a cup or glass or mug of 8 ounces of cold water. And this is all your greens for the day. You're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. Every day I take this. It's so good for my digestion, my energy. It's simple. It's easy. I don't like taking a lot of vitamins. This has been really, really helpful for me. I've had a lot of stomach issues my whole life, and ever since I've been gluten-free and taking the AG1s, it's really helped me in my stomach in the mornings. I love it, and I'm so psyched that they're part of the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm sure a lot of people don't like eating greens, let alone drinking your greens, but I can tell you straight up, it's got a mild tropical taste, and the taste is actually really refreshing, and I really look forward to it each morning. Don't think it's just going to be just straight bland. It tastes really, really good, and it's good for you, so remember that. This one blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It's incredible, just one scoop, especially for musicians who are vegans or just musicians in general who want to get those daily greens. You can get the packets. It's incredible. I just gave some to my friend Derek from Sepultura. He traveled the whole entire world this summer, and he had those every single day. He said it saved him. I bring AG1s with me when I travel. It helps me stay healthy. You know the deal. If you're on tour and you are a picky eater, but you need to have your greens, sometimes catering doesn't have greens. Sometimes you miss the catering. Sometimes you miss the backstage food. Sometimes it's too late after the show to go get food that you like. So if you just have a scoop of AG1s in your hotel room before you go to bed, or you're in the hotel room at night and you're starving and you want something healthy, boom, life changer. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with some convenient daily nutrition. That's all you need, one scoop in a cup every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. This is it. I'm super psyched. And to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/OLLC. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/OLLC to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. This is incredible. I love it. It's just basic greens. For me personally, this has changed my life tremendously. I'm not a junk food vegan. I don't eat a lot of fake meats, so I'm strictly greens. And this has been a wonderful, wonderful new addition to my life. So once again, visit athleticgreens.com/OLLC. and get 1 free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. athleticgreens.com/OLOC. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. And if you want to get water, Liquid Death water, go to amazon.com. But for merchandise and other things that's not water, go to liquiddeath.com/Toby and get free shipping. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst, stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives.
Raspy can be good.
Yeah. That's why I just sprayed. I had to get this throat. It's called Singer's throat spray.
I use that.
Yes,
on tour.
I just found it like at Whole Foods in
It's
Nashville.
hard they don't have it in LA no more. I can't find it anywhere.
Really?
Yeah, the Singer's one. Yeah,
Nashville,
the non-alcohol
Whole Foods.
spray. Yeah.
Or-
Toby, no.
It's either Whole Foods or Turnip Truck in Nashville.
You heard of
but
that Singer spray?
No.
it's
Why? It's
good.
like all natural
No,
shit.
I do not use these sprays.
I
These
use
are very bad.
I use
Very
it.
bad, my friend.
Strong like bull.
Yes,
Yo.
yes, it will make you addictive. You know, you don't have it.
I'm
you start
recording
to
right now
panic.
too, bro.
Yeah.
I like what you're saying though.
No, but I heard this early on when singing, and I was like, I need to spray or coat up. And then my teacher was like, look, he's like, those are great, but I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be addicted to it. And when you don't have it, your throat, you're going to feel funny. And it's a mental,
Okay, I get
and
it.
he's like, try early on not to get hooked on anything like that, except for like tea, water, the simple things, you know. But,
Okay. Throat coat's cool too.
But the one thing about it also, he was like, also those things coat your throat, and you don't know if there's a real problem with your throat
Right.
when there is a serious problem.
Absolutely.
So it's
Well, like I think I did a thing on Instagram saying like I was losing my voice or whatever. And it's like a doctor actually DM'd me saying just lots of water and go like humming kind of moistens the vocal cords.
It definitely massages
straight
your
from a
vocal
doctor.
cords.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So screw the spray.
It's just to be careful. I just say to be careful
I know.
because it can be addictive. Where you're like, oh my god, I don't
Totally,
have it.
yeah.
I
can't sing without it.
Yeah, right.
It's like anything. It's like we were just talking about coffee. It's like the first thing I think of when I wake up in the morning is coffee, and if I don't get my coffee, then it's.
I know.
How can I live through my day?
It's super addictive.
How am I gonna get through my day?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, like they always say, like tea and honey. Which in reality, it's just like you're not supposed to talk when you're losing your voice, especially on tour. You're supposed to have total rest.
Right. And like, honey is super sugary.
Yeah.
And that's really not a good thing.
Yeah.
He was like, no
like
sugar,
almost
lemon? Yes.
Like over 10 years ago, I totally bit David Grohl style. He chews gum on stage.
Yes.
And that keeps you like your shit moist.
Kind of
moist,
yeah.
That's crazy. My
I do that.
teachers be like, are you out of your mind? They're like, are you out of your mind putting something in your mouth while you're singing?
Yeah, seriously.
I've always used it, but
that's cool.
This is no disrespect to Grohl. I jump around, I go crazy. He just stands with the mic and rocks out. It's different. It's different. No, it's different than a hardcore singer.
Okay, all right.
I jump in the crowd like it's different. It's a different.
It's a different energy.
No disrespect.
Sure. Not
because
at all.
we played a show in Boston and I fucking was singing and I spit my gum out into this dude's beard in the front row, and the whole show he had his. I was like, dude, I'm
you
so
could just
sorry.
see the wad of gum just
I brought
on
him
this guy's beard.
I brought him on stage. We hugged. He had a really perfect beard, but the whole set I'm trying not to cry laughing because my gum is in his beard. And then we took a photo. He cut his beard.
I bet he was appreciative, Toby.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was super stoked that your gum landed in his beard.
Yeah, this podcast has already been recorded, so welcome to the podcast, Jessica Miller.
Ow!
Thank
you.
It's your first podcast.
I was like a little nervous on my way here, to be honest.
No, come on, this is conversation.
It's so chill.
Yeah, well, thankfully it's you guys. I mean, or else I'd be like hiding under this table right now.
No, it's super chill convo. We're just in my kitchen. Derek Green's here. You can tell by his wonderful voice.
How you all
nice
doing?
To see you, Derek.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're here. There's no cameras. There's no lights. We're just in my kitchen.
Yeah, I actually wasn't sure if there were going to be cameras or anything.
No.
So I was like,
I don't play
didn't
that.
do.
Right.
As
No,
you can see, I
you
showed
look
up in like a
wonderful.
wrinkly shirt that I slept in last night.
How many copies have you had today so far, though?
I think it was 6 or 7
No
in the
judgment.
hotel.
Wow.
And
that size?
Not that size.
No, not the size.
was
Like, you
oh
know,
my
like
God.
cups in a hotel. Like they're like tiny little
like an espresso
saucer
cup.
things. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no,
So,
saucer like big.
but I'm feeling it. I'm getting it.
sure
I
you
started
are.
drinking a lot more coffee in the last couple months, I would say. I'm not sober, but I've stopped drinking alcohol in the last couple months just
Wow.
to take like a more mindful, especially after the pandemic. It was
Nice.
like drinking wine every day, and I felt like
every day is the end of the world. You're not sure what's gonna happen.
totally. And it was just like I didn't want that relationship to alcohol anymore. So I went to Arizona to see my sister, and it was so like had this spiritual vibe. I'm from the desert. I'm from Vegas. So it was just
in my notes.
Yeah. So it was just hell yeah. Did your homework. And I just kind of was like, you know what, we're just gonna take a break. And so since I've stopped drinking alcohol, and I'm not saying I'm not sober, I'm just like taking a little bit of a mindful break.
Nice.
I've been drinking a lot more coffee. Yeah.
Does it suppress your appetite too? So do you eat later on in the day if you have a lot of coffee in the morning? Like you can just go and go?
Actually, yeah, now that you mention it.
Yeah,
I guess I do.
Yeah.
I kind of do a little fruit in the morning.
Yeah.
And then kind of like graze throughout the day. But you're right. It's always like dinner. Like,
Yes. I'm the same way.
I
I'm
need
like,
dinner.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I did. And you know what?
Yeah.
I haven't noticed that in the last couple of months. But
Because it
you're
fills
right.
you up in a way, right?
It kills your appetite. Coffee.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So your average isn't really 7 a day. You're like you're on vacation right now.
I'm on a little alcohol vacation and
Alcohol-free, caffeine.
alcohol-free, and caffeine is keeping me company at the
You
moment.
just do black coffee usually?
What's that? No, either do like some oat milk or almond milk.
right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I had a weird relationship with coffee just over a
Yeah,
couple
you did.
years. It was like really fast. It was really short. And
It was terrifying seeing you on it. To tell you
that-
the
that's
truth.
Really?
like,
In
yeah,
what
it's like
way?
a real drug to me. Like I've never done any
shit.
kind of drug, and that just rips through my body.
As you
like
can see, naturally, he's already like hyped up.
yeah,
You know, with life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't.
So
Aw, we
imagine
love you for
coffee
that.
on top of that.
so I
That
just
is a
like
scary
get-
thing.
I haven't had
Terrifying.
coffee like in almost 3 months. The last time I had, I was at Crossroads with Tim Millhouse, and my son left his coffee there or something. I drank some of it. Maybe I drank all of it, but it was 3 espressos in one. I didn't realize what it was.
Oh, my
And I swear to God, my heart started going crazy. I was like,
Yes.
Tim, I'm going to go to the hospital. I have to go to Cedars-Sinai. I'm having a heart attack. Coffee's not good for me. Or it makes me super jittery, shittery, dehydrated. I have to take a fucking nap.
I do feel dehydrated.
Then
That's
I
what's like
crash
liquid
so
death
hard.
below.
So Dr. Andy Huberman says, do not drink coffee. Wake up first 90 minutes, then drink your first coffee. Because then you don't crash as hard. You have to look that up. It's an interesting thing he talked about.
Okay.
A lot of my
All
friends
right.
have been doing that since the episode we dropped. With that.
90 minutes?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And go outside, get sunlight first. Get sun in your face first thing. It's interesting, yeah.
I'll see if it makes a difference.
Yeah.
But I know that, caffeine and it can also give I mean, coffee can also give you like anxiety. As a young kid,
for
I was
sure,
drinking,
yeah.
and I didn't know what was going on.
You were drinking Sanka with your mom?
I was drinking Sanka, and then I would have a cup of Sanka, and I was like, oh my God, like I feel like I'm going into a death trip. Like it was like everything is black and anxiety and craziness, and I stopped drinking for many, many years.
I stopped drinking for many months, and I went to matcha in the morning
awesome.
because I started feeling jittery with coffee. But when I was in Arizona and kind of going through this new spiritual trip that I'm on, whatever you want to call it, I remember my sister and I went to Starbucks, and it's like you're saying, like I had a coffee and I was like, woo, like it was like a rush, like drugs.
But that's why people drink it, don't they? They keep
Here we
awake.
are, yeah.
Yes.
Some people like the taste. Some people,
I guess,
There's a coffee episode. It's pretty sick.
I know.
Well, you're born in Vegas.
Born and raised,
Wow.
Wow.
I don't know many people born in Vegas.
born
She's
and
the
raised.
second guest I've had from Vegas, yeah.
No
Really?
way.
Like,
Who else?
Vegan.
Braden, he's a skateboarder.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And do you call it a vegan? What do you call a person from Vegas? A veganite? I don't know.
That's a great question, but I would love if it's a vegan because,
A vegan.
yeah, it's like
I don't-
vegan square, I
Yo,
guess.
not for nothing, man. Las Vegas has got a lot of vegan crazy stuff going on there now.
Really?
It's pretty, yeah, man. There's a lot of things are happening there in Vegas.
Did not
New
know.
Crossroads.
I was just going to say, I knew
There's
the
a
new
bunch of stuff,
Crossroads
like,
open.
There's a lot of
Okay.
options, like spots.
Well, also, a lot of people are moving out there now. It
Yes,
seems
this is
like
true.
My brother moved there.
no
Him
shit.
and his wife
really?
and kids moved there, yeah.
It's crazy.
And there's a whole community and neighborhood of a bunch of rockers from LA,
Yes.
all in the same kind of cul-de-sac.
exactly. Yeah. That's what we were talking about
Why
the
do you
other
think
night
they're moving
specifically.
there?
Cheaper,
Cheaper,
more space,
no taxes.
taxes.
No
Boom.
taxes.
But
I
That's a
mean,
big incentive.
Cali's great, but fuck. We're paying for it. We're paying for the greatness here.
I know we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so good. I know.
But the heat in
It's
Vegas,
hard
man.
to-
So how was it growing
yeah.
up there?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it felt really normal. And of course, I know, like, I had this reaction. People are like, fuck, you're from Vegas, But to me, it was just, when I think of Vegas, I think of the desert and the sunsets. And I love that desert heat, that almost like a hair dryer is just blowing
Dry
at you when
heat,
you walk.
yeah.
Like, I fucking love
horrifying.
that dry heat. So... But yeah, both my parents were in the business. My dad was a stagehand. My mom was a showgirl and worked with David Copperfield. And so I was around it as a kid.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but aside from like slot machines being in the grocery stores, like it totally felt normal to me. And
Yeah.
like I said, when I think of Vegas, I think of Red Rock Canyon, and there's so much beauty there. And I used to date a guy, and he's like, "Oh, I fucking hate Vegas. I could never get this guy to go back to Vegas with me and visit family." And no, I was like, "You don't know Vegas." And like
me show
when
you
I
your
tell
Vegas.
people
You have
where
a
when
different perspective, though.
oh
I
my
think a lot of
God, yeah.
people.
Like when people ask me, what should I see in Vegas? Like, go to Red Rock Canyon. Well, I was going to say go to Lake Mead, but Lake Mead is not really there anymore, unfortunately. Lake Mead's drying up, unfortunately. But it's just so beautiful there.
Yeah.
I just love the vibe of the desert. And yeah, no, my sister's in Phoenix now, and desert feels like home to me. There's an
So you could live
energy.
there again?
No, I don't know if I could live in Vegas again. Cali's got me hooked. There's something about Cali that's got me hooked.
Absolutely.
It's amazing, man.
But you also have the desert in California,
True.
So it's like you could be in the ocean and then a few hours later you're in the desert. So I feel like California is so diverse and has so much to offer, but I don't know what it is about like living where you're from. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something
Or
kinda-
going back there, or like, I don't know.
Going back is great, but
Yeah.
like I guess
Yeah.
Could you be
Oh,
in
no.
Massachusetts?
No, because I was barely there. I was only there as a baby.
Yeah.
Now, Rhode Island, I mean, I love Rhode Island.
Okay.
Newport, Rhode Island has beautiful beaches.
Could
and
you
all that.
imagine yourself being there?
No, absolutely
Really?
not. No.
Not even like a vacation home or
No.
Damn.
I would love to have like a little spot in Vegas,
there
but
you go.
and my dad's still there. My older
that's-
sister and my
yeah.
nephews are still there. So I love going back, but
Visiting's different.
Yeah,
though.
yeah, I
visiting's
like to
different.
visit. I don't know why I wouldn't want to live there again, to be quite honest.
Because you
I
lived other
love it.
places and you love other places.
Yeah,
you traveled
yeah.
the whole world.
For
you know
now,
what
I
mean?
love Cali, and
There's
you know,
Yeah.
we talk.
diversity in Cali. That
Yeah, so much
is
diversity,
Yeah.
and we even talk about. My husband's Danish, so we talk about like, oh, would we want to live in Denmark? And I don't know. I'm sure you guys have been to
Yeah.
Denmark, and it's
Yes.
fucking
Yeah.
cool there.
It
And
is.
How's your
Cool.
Danish?
non-existent. Non-existent. But everybody speaks English there. It's like
Yeah.
True.
I did try during the pandemic. I did like the Duolingo thing, and
Nice.
you know, I learned how to say like potato, like kartoffler, and like, but like every time I
it
would try to
kartoffel?
like say something to Lars, my husband, it was like, no, that's not how you say it. No, that's not how you say it. So I could never get the pronunciation. They use their mouth and their tongue in a way that we're just not.
And you want to get it right too. You don't want to
Yeah.
get it
Yeah.
sound-
Yeah.
So, but I'm telling you, you
It's a
go to
very bizarre
Denmark, the
language.
second you land, you hop in a taxi, they speak English. You
Oh, yeah,
go
of
like,
course. I think a lot
get
of
like
the
a soda.
Scandinavian countries.
yeah.
It's like
Oh
very-
my God.
It's just normal for them to.
Well, unfortunately, I
have a
think
problem.
you go almost anywhere in Europe and they speak English, and it's, I think, well, okay, you go. Well, you guys
No,
know.
no, no, no. I'm just saying. A
I-
lot of places. You're right.
a lot of
You're
places,
absolutely
yeah.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
Except
So-
for maybe like Greece.
All right.
Okay, I haven't been to
Okay.
Greece since I was like
I haven't
16,
been in a
so I
long
can't
time
really
either,
speak
yeah.
to
Okay.
Greece.
So what was it like growing up there? How are you and your family? Awesome family?
Yeah.
Strict family?
No,
Okay.
not strict
No.
at all.
Oh,
No.
okay. Brothers, sisters.
I have two sisters, a younger sister and an older sister.
You're in the middle.
I'm in the middle.
Which one
yeah.
does the news?
My little sister
That's
Danielle,
awesome.
yeah,
Cool.
Danny. She's
What
in
is she at?
Phoenix. She's a news reporter in Phoenix.
Oh,
she's
wow.
killing
Awesome.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's killing it.
Cool.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's my best friend. My older sister, she's 6 years older than me, so she
Okay.
was kind of off doing her own thing. So my little sister and I were, glued at the hip,
Awesome.
and
Nice.
it was good. We went through a lot of ups and downs with my folks. They kind of had their issues, not issues, but struggles. I would
Are
put
they still
it.
together?
No, they're not together,
Okay.
but thankfully friendly.
Okay.
But they divorced when I was 6.
Okay.
My dad was, and he would be, if he were sitting here, he would be even more open than I would be. He was an alcoholic, and
Right.
he had a liver transplant 12 years ago almost from
Wow.
cirrhosis due to alcoholism. So yeah, we went through a lot of that. And my older sister has a different dad than
Okay.
Danny and I. So Danny and I were around my dad a lot when he was drinking, and we ended up in Child Haven a couple times because he was driving under the influence with us. And
what is that? What's that to the listeners? Child Haven.
Child Havens, I guess where foster kids are
Wow,
taken.
okay.
Yeah, just because my mom was living in Laughlin at this point for a couple years, and so she couldn't get to Vegas in time to get us. So we ended up in a Child Haven for like 2 nights once, and
Wow.
yeah, they had like a little school that we attended for a couple days, and yeah, that happened twice with my dad. Before my mom could come. Actually, the second time my sister Nicole came and got us from that thing. So it was it's interesting because like hearing that, it sounds really traumatic, and
Yeah.
looking back on it, okay, it is. But I remember my childhood. It's pretty great. Like I said, I love Vegas. I love
Yeah.
the desert. I remember just like walking around with my friends and that desert heat, and going and seeing shows and concerts, being really into music from the time I was like 11 or 12.
Oh, wow.
And so and also, like I said, I had my little sister Danny going through all this shit. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine having done it without her. So I don't look back on it like as a traumatic childhood,
Yeah.
even though both my parents struggled with
Yeah.
addiction. I loved growing up in Vegas, and I just
Yeah.
remember being at the pool and whatever,
Just being a kid. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
so-
was some of the concerts you were going to at a young age?
Jeez.
What kind of stuff were you into?
Metallica. I first saw them when I was
Wow.
12. Yeah. Yeah. My mom took
That's
me,
wild.
and we were.
That's wild.
I'm not kidding. Like literally up in the nosebleeds with binoculars.
No.
I think the
way.
Load
tour was
albums
it?
had just came out. And the
Oh,
Load.
the Load.
Yeah, the Load albums are like my favorite albums because they're so.
Wow.
They were like the first Metallica albums I got into.
Right.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I think that was like 96.
Yeah.
Wow. 96. I was 16 in 2000, so yeah, that had to be like 96.
So you went to metal. Yeah.
Yeah, Pantera. I mean, Vulgar Display of Power was like I think I lived on that for the whole year of my 13th year.
Right.
And I saw them at Ozfest when Ozfest came to town.
So you would go to shows with your sisters?
A lot of shows. Well, not my sisters.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get my sisters to get into the shit.
So how did you get into metal? Like through a friend or something?
Honestly, my two girlfriends, Lisa and Shannon. Hi,
Shout out
Lisa and
Lisa
Shannon.
What up?
Yeah, what's happening, girls? I haven't seen them in a while.
So they got you into it?
They got me into Metallica, Ramones,
Nice.
Pantera. Yeah, I owe it all to them. Like my kind of musical journey, if you will. Like it was all them. And I don't even know, maybe I think their dad was really into like metal and their older brother was into like Rage Against the Machine and shit. So I think they probably got influenced by them, and I totally just hopped on that wagon with them, and thank God, because I loved it, and it was really cool. I actually was just in Kentucky and saw the Seven Dust guys, Lujan.
I remember Seven Dust, yeah.
I used to go see Seven Dust every year. They would come to Vegas for New Year's Eve at the Huntridge, and when
Huntridge Theater is a great spot.
I don't even know if it's there anymore.
A bunch, yeah.
But every
Yeah.
New Year's Eve, I would go see Seven Dust, and it was like, fuck, we looked forward to that every year. And so when I saw him, I was like, oh my God. And he could not have been like the nicest guy. So
nice.
it was like
really cool.
They're still touring, right?
True. Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they were just in Kentucky and rocked it.
That's cool.
It was cool. I literally haven't seen them since I was like 13 years old. So it was really cool.
So you're out and about, like just living, going to shows at a young age, and
I was waiting for her to ask about in school, how were you?
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, how were you in school? Yeah,
I was actually really good in school. Yeah, I was a really good student up until I would say high school with zoning. Like, so all my friends who I had was great in middle school. I had like a really good group of friends, was a good student. And then when high school came around, all of them had to go to Cimarron and I had to go to Cheyenne. So we had to go to different schools and I had like no friends at high school.
Why did they...
It's just like
by zoning by where you live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's which high school you go to is determined by where you live.
Okay.
And unless you go to private school, of course.
Right.
But I was in public school, Las Vegas. Yeah. So I had absolutely no friends in high school and was pretty miserable. And I just, I honestly started ditching a lot. I would, sorry, Mom, but I would walk out the door like I was going to school, and then wait 20 minutes and jump back in through my window and just hang out in my room all day. And she never knew.
Wow. You don't think she ever knew?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think
So
I
the
got
school
away
wasn't,
with it.
Not calling.
It wasn't calling in high school, which is weird because
That is
I
weird,
really enjoyed school when I was up until 8th grade. But then I started modeling, or
I was gonna ask
modeling
you how
kind
young.
of dropped in my lap when I was 14. And
Wow.
so I was like, oh, okay, I don't got to go to school and I'm working now.
How did somebody find you? How did that happen?
So my older sister, Nicole, heard on the radio that a modeling agent
sounds
is
like a
going to be at
movie.
John Robert Powers. It's like these
That's like a
modeling
movie, man.
schools
Yeah.
across the country. And so she took me there to go meet this Hollywood agent or whatever bullshit.
Wow, this sounds shady.
It was a little shady, to be honest. It was like, okay, we go and meet them, and it's like, oh, $1,500 for runway classes and $1,000 for headshots, and we didn't have that kind of fucking dough. So we were literally walking out of the building, and much to this guy's credit, named Daniel at John Robert Powers, stopped me as I was walking out the door. He's like, where are you going? Where are you going? And we were like, we don't got this kind of cash.
It's like, this is a scam.
We're out of here, And he's like, no. I promise I'll get you with an agent and won't cost you a thing. And he actually did. He got me with an agency here in Los Angeles. And so I was
Wow.
going back and forth from Los Angeles back to Vegas for about 6 months, and then a agency in New York next, my current
Yeah,
agency.
that's a big one. Yeah.
Saw photos of me. Actually, a girlfriend who's still is my closest and oldest friend till this day. She saw my photo, Corey Castor, and was working at Next at the time. And I met her here in LA at what was that? There was this restaurant on Wilshire. It's not open anymore. This big restaurant on Wilshire. I remember meeting her there for the first time. But anyways, she wanted to sign me, and like the next day I flew to New York City and started doing shows at 14. And
what? Had you been to New York before?
Never.
And
no.
who was bringing you back and forth from Vegas? Your parents?
My mom was a bunch, and I would come here sometimes on my own as well.
At 14?
Oh yeah.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember going to. There was some nightclub on Sunset. I remember going to, and I think I remember. I think I ended up at Mel's Diner across the street, like throwing up in the bathroom.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy to think.
Were you like drinking, start partying then? At that age?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah. And it's crazy to think because I have step boys and my youngest is 15 and he seems so young and innocent to me. You know, it's like I was like modeling wedding dresses when I was 14 and in nightclubs drinking. So it's a fucking mind trip.
Especially being that young, man, coming to LA and shit.
Yeah.
Especially LA.
You weren't scared or nothing?
Oh no. No, I was a little bit of a wild child.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a little bit of a wild child. My parents, like I said, they kind of had their struggles when I was growing up and when I was a teenager. And so I didn't really have a lot of rules. I was kind of left to my own devices. So I was, my dad is definitely a wild child, you know, and I think I definitely got that from him. So I was all about it. Yeah, I was like.
What happens with school? Do you graduate or you just?
No, you know what? I never got my GED. And it's kind of like something
you can still do it someday.
Self-conscious about, to be honest. Yeah, like I think and my boys know now, but I think I like growing, or when my step boys were much younger, I would always tell them that I got my GED because I just wanted them to stay in school. They're now pursuing music, and it's like I got my GED. You guys got to stay in school, But no, I never got my GED. I was meant to get it. My mom like kind of handed me a book when I started modeling and never really mentioned it again. And I was just off to the races. So when I was 14 and traveling all over the world, and
you start making lots of like crazy money, like you were like making a good living on it.
I was making a pretty decent living, I would say. But
you're living at home still, right?
Yeah, I was going back and forth.
I
was going back and forth from Vegas and just traveling wherever the jobs were taking me.
No manager or like a guidance person with you, like an adult, like
my mom would travel with me quite a bit. And then when I was 16, she kind of stopped. I was like, no, I could do this on my own. And then like living in Paris by myself, I think I was there for like a few months and somehow made it out alive.
Wow, man.
I know. I look back on this shit. Like I said, my youngest stepson, Bryce, is 15. And it's like, no fucking
Like if you wanted to go do that now, if I had a daughter at 14, they wanted to go and do that now, but like,
if I had a daughter at 14, be like, dream on, sister, dream on. Yeah, no way.
But there's something also amazing about that, your freedom and this, and you weren't scared, you just went and did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had the opportunity, you just went for it.
I just went for it. Yeah.
You really think about like, any kind of scary stuff? I don't know. It's just awesome.
I mean, did you have any of those thoughts in your head, like, oh man, there's like some creepy people in the industry, or did you know anything about the industry?
Because it's a creepy industry.
It is a creepy industry. Totally.
I just watched that Victoria's Secret.
Oh, the Victoria. I still haven't caught that.
Oh my God.
I still haven't caught that. You know, I would say I'm pretty lucky in the sense there was nothing like super creepy that happened to me, but honestly, and especially when a lot of like the Me Too movement was coming up, a lot of people reached out and was like, what's your story around the modeling? And I actually have never really spoken about this publicly, and I've always wanted to, but here's the opportunity.
First podcast, let's go.
First podcast, bitches. It was always, no man had ever made me feel. Of course, I remember this like creepy photographer that I was like 15, 16 working in Paris and wanted to take me to Mexico or some bullshit. I was like, fuck you, dude. Yeah. But never like touched me or anything like that. But I would say it was women who really like, not like sexually offended me in any way, but just like, and probably why I never really had a lot of girlfriends until I was like in my 30s. I just never trusted women.
Super
like
competitive,
but also like the women I was like working for, like stylists, editors, like literally calling me fat to my face or just being so like talking shit about me publicly in magazines, like even though I had nothing to do with this, never even worked with this woman. Like
when you were younger too.
when I was a teenager.
Wow.
So I feel like nothing like creepy ever happened to me, but it was in that sense like trying to navigate, like being a young girl and trying to navigate like the modeling industry in terms of like being liked and being accepted and especially by women, was
being judged and being like kind of meant to be
was
bullied.
That was the hardest thing for me. And I guess I didn't really realize it at the time, but now looking back, it'll honestly feel bad for myself, like my teenage self, when I think back, and it's like these women were being so cruel to a teenage girl, and I just
so harsh.
I just can't. Even when I still work with girls who are teenagers, and I just make a point to be so like, do you need anything? How are you doing? It's like, if you can't get it from, as a young girl, if you can't like get some support from an older woman, who's been there, done that, it's like, what the fuck, And so, thankfully nothing creepy ever happened, but I would say it was just really difficult navigating like my relationships to women, I guess.
And were you harsh on yourself about how you looked and your weight and all that?
Fuck yeah.
Damn.
Big time. And my weight like went up and down and up and down. And so it was a really difficult thing to, especially as a teenager, to
just feeling pressure. Like, can I eat that? I can't eat that. Or
totally.
Were you self-conscious before this? Before becoming a model? Like, did you ever think about it? Like,
of course. Yeah. But I guess like how most, and I'm not just going to say girls, because of course boys, men deal with weight issues or whatever you want to call it as well. Everybody does. Yeah. So I was conscious of it, but not to the point where, when I was modeling, like I'd be, like you said, scared to eat something.
Then it's like magnified in this cameras and this photos, and it's like.
Yeah. And there's certain jobs,
watching.
I'm sure that people are, they're looking for a specific style of a person, or they're looking for a certain look. Yeah. And if of course you're not going to be able to do every job, so I don't know if that weighs in on your mind, where it's like, man, I didn't get this,
and it's also showing up to a job on set where there's a whole crew of people like waiting for you and you can't fit in the pants or whatever. I mean, that just like crushes. For me, it's like I still get triggered. Like if I have a pair of jeans that I haven't put on for a couple years and they like don't fit, I still, of course, I don't go in like, I mean, thankfully, I'm 38 now, so it's like I feel comfortable. Finally starting to feel comfortable in my body. Thank God.
Wow.
But till this day, I'll still put on a pair of jeans, and if it doesn't fit right, it's like, okay, you're good, Jess, you're good. And that goes back from showing up on set and not fitting in clothes, or when I was working with Calvin Klein, I remember going home for a summer in Vegas and being an 19-year-old girl and just like having ice cream with my family, like totally innocent, and then coming back and not being able to fit the clothes at Calvin Klein and losing my contract. And
dude.
Yeah. And then I saw this trainer after that who had me not eat fruit for weeks to like drop weight super fast. So then I was like terrified to eat fucking fruit for, so I did a lot of up and down.
That sticks with you throughout your life. Obviously.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. No, it's crazy. Like,
mentally kind of scarred from that kind of.
Absolutely. Like I swear, like if I'm eating like because he would tell me like which fruits have less calories or less sugar, and like till this day when I'm eating like a banana or a mango, it's like, oh, I know that these fruits have more sugar, but it's like it's mentally scarring on you. It scars.
Not
you
to be funny, but what fruits do have the most sugar? Because
I think bananas.
I'm a crazy about sugar as well. So I know bananas have potassium. They're super good for you.
Bananas
are great for you.
But I'm just saying, like, what fruits have a lot of sugar? Like, I'm not really.
I don't know. Maybe apples. They taste pretty sweet.
Oranges.
Mangoes for sure.
Mangoes are good.
It's just natural sugar, though, man. Fuck.
I know exactly. But I understand like the whole weight thing because I had this problem in high school.
You did?
Yeah.
You did as well. Yeah.
I did. It was because I was doing wrestling.
Yeah.
So it's all about weight.
Totally.
And I never thought about it, but it's just like everything you're eating, everything you're doing, just weighed in. It was like scale all the time. Putting yourself on a scale, and then mentally it can drain you.
Yeah.
Actually, Derek, till this day, I when I go to the doctors, I still won't look at how much I weigh.
Yeah, me either.
And it's just I know there's things, and it's fucked up. I know it's fucked up, but it's just like I'm just looking out for myself mentally. You know, it's like I just don't need to know how much I weigh.
Right.
Like I can't even remember the last time I actually looked at a scale to see how much I actually weigh. So I totally get that.
Yeah.
And then how much were you looking at scales during, you were like into the modeling, deep
A
into
lot
it?
when I was a teenager, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Was there a certain amount of weight you wanted to weigh all the time and stick at that weight, or it just fluctuated?
Yeah, I think if I ever went like over 120 or something, I was scared. And now I'm definitely above 120. But like I said, thankfully I'm 38 and it took me this long to like finally start feeling comfortable in my body and
damn, man,
confident. And but I'm saying, I still have these things where I put on a pair of jeans and like it triggers me, or I can't look at my weight when I get on a scale at the doctor's office. And that's totally just from this fear of, like you said, not being accepted or not being good enough, and getting to set and putting on pants or whatever and they don't fit, and being called fat by the stylist, like literally to my face. Oh, she's just too fat for the clothes. And God, I fucking wish I knew her name. Could remember that. Oh my God.
Well, were you having fun?
Some people need to be called out on that shit. I'm sorry, but
were you having fun while you were doing it? Were you living your best life, like traveling?
I had a lot of fun. Yeah. And as much as
that kind of went with the job, like all those things you talk about. Back then, it seemed kind of normal, like your weight and how you had to look. But later on, you think about it, it's like, yeah, that's really fucked up the way they treated me. When you're in it, it's like you're in it. I
think with any job, there's negative things, and for me, I'm just so grateful for, like I said, I'm self-conscious that I didn't finish high school and didn't go to college, even though I could do that anytime. But fuck, the education I got traveling the world you can't put a price on that.
Hell no.
Absolutely.
Cannot put a price on that. So I'm so grateful for that. And, I don't have any regrets at all. Would I let my daughter model at 14? Fuck no. But I don't have any regrets. And I had a lot of fun, like, especially like when I'm in Paris, and I meant it. Like, I don't know how I got out of there alive, because I was partying like crazy in Paris.
Yeah.
But that's interesting.
When I was young.
You wouldn't let your daughter, like, even if you were over, watching or managing her.
I don't, as grateful as I am, I guess I would try to give my daughter or son, if my son wanted to model, whatever, that kind of education without modeling. Like if I could give them that education through travel, through art, through music, through film, I would try to do it in a different way. And I love my parents and they're incredible, but they weren't taking me to museums, and we went to Disneyland. We didn't go to, to different countries or anything like that. We just didn't have the funds or whatever to kind of do that type of shit. So I would try to find a different way, I guess, to provide that sort of education. I think I just wouldn't want that type of pressure on my kid. Even like my kids are in private school, and they have to get like interviewed. My stepboys have to get like interviewed to get into schools. And I was like, if Lars and I ever have a kid, like, public school, baby, like, I don't want my kid being interviewed to get into some school. I just think when you're a kid, it's like to have that kind of pressure of, there's already enough pressure, being a kid, and especially a teenager, that I don't know. So
my son modeled. He did a couple of things here and there. He's with LA Models, and he was with other people's children, and now Wilhelmina's interested. And so he sent them some photos were taken. Shout out to Kathy Brolin, who took pictures of Max.
Oh, yeah.
And then he did a video and sent it in, and now he's just waiting to hear back. And he told me, he's like, they haven't hit me back. I'm like, don't worry about it. Just go surf, go work at your job, live your life. He's not really he doesn't just want to do that. If he can do it and have fun and make some money, but he's not like feeling the pressure he has to do modeling, and he has to get picked for something.
And that, I think, is a healthy approach.
Yeah,
for
he doesn't
sure.
really care either way.
For sure, yeah. So I think in that situation, I think that's...
And he's 19, and he's already done some things here and there with that.
And especially if they want to make some extra cash.
Totally.
I mean, it's like, if you could show up on set, make some cash rather than, like, do whatever, It's like, why not? So, yeah.
And he never got bummed when he didn't get things or anything like that. He just went surfing and forgot about it. Like, it's just extra money to him, probably.
I was going to say, and Max has, like, he's fucking an incredible musician. He surfs, so he has other passions that fuel him.
Totally.
Yes,
For me, when I was 14,
Yeah.
modeling was my only thing, and when it didn't go right, then it's like my whole
Right.
world came crumbling down. So thankfully, Max has like these other passions
Yeah.
that fuel him as a human being, you
Yeah.
know, and kind of fulfill that within him. So modeling is just not his whatever. It's like, fuck, if he could go make some extra cash, then fuck yeah, let's do it and have some fun and meet some cool people.
Yeah, and so you didn't get things. You were super harsh on yourself, and like it's why
Oh,
did I
for
get,
sure. Yeah, I mean, it's
that's so much pressure as a young person too. You know.
yeah, and I was also financially helping my family, so I also had that pressure,
Extra
you know,
pressure.
since I was 14. My mom had to start traveling with me, so I had to start
up.
paying our bills, and
Got
so
you.
it was a lot of pressure. Yeah, and I'm learning a lot more about it now that I'm an adult, and I could kind of reflect back on it, and especially with like years of therapy. I'm like starting to like figure out, oh, that's why I do that. But yeah, I guess when I was that age, I just was kind of like on autopilot. It was just kind of
going.
Yeah.
And how long did you do it? Like when did you quit at some point?
No, I haven't quit. Yeah, I still do jobs here and there. Especially if something cool comes up.
Yeah,
But since the pandemic, it definitely slowed down a lot.
Sure.
And also I love modeling, and I'm so grateful for everything it's given me. And like I said, education and been able to provide for my family and whatever, you name it, all the friends I've made. But fashion has never been a passion of mine. And so, I guess in a way it has, but, yeah, like I love music. We were just saying, like I started this new project around music, and I'm not a musician, unfortunately. So bow down to you.
You never
guys.
tried to sing or play instruments or anything?
I played a little guitar when I was in middle school, and I played a little bit now, but nothing that I would want anybody to hear. No. But I just love it. Like I used to turn down like really big modeling jobs. I was like, oh no, sorry, I gotta go see this band live. And my agent, sorry, Lee, she'd be like, what? You're turning down a job with Helmut Newton to go fucking see Queens of the Stone Age? I'm like, yeah, but they just released this really cool album, and I gotta see it live and whatever, you know. Like
I love that though. I love that.
Yeah, and so that's always been my passion, and so yeah, I think kind of now looking for things to do that I'm more passionate about. And like I said, I am a little bit passionate about fashion, so I would love to do a vegan shoe line, and that's kind of my dream. It's been a dream for a long time, and
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and so I know fashion, you know, I've been doing it for 20 plus years, and obviously being vegan is a huge part of my life and a way of life for me. So
that'd be awesome to do that.
So yeah, I think just finding other things that fuel me as a person, as an adult, rather than, and modeling is hard because it's kind of like you don't really have a and I'm sure you guys must I mean, especially in the beginning of your careers as musicians, it's like you don't know when you're going to work next. You know,
sure.
it's kind of like I hate not having that control, especially as you know, it's like, okay, I did it for 20 plus years of kind of just being at the mercy of other people wanting me. I don't feel like, thank God, you know, thankfully I'm in a place where I just don't need to bow down to that anymore, you know? And so it's like, now I want to just start doing things that I'm passionate about.
I love
like
that.
Music or
animals,
and, you know, and I do know fashion. So how can I blend the two? Vegan shoes. So we'll see.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. But every now, if something cool comes along with modeling, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
So when did veganism come into your life?
That was, I've been vegan since 2017. But I actually was vegetarian before that for a couple years. And I wanted to be vegetarian when I was like 17, 18, and I did try, but back to like the weight thing, I was so scared if I wasn't eating like, you know, what trainers were like, you must have like grilled chicken, grilled fish, and vegetables. And so I remember like for a couple weeks being vegetarian, and I was so scared that I was gaining weight from eating beans and lentil or whatever, you know, legume. And so I would just like, I was terrified. And so I was like, nope, I'm going back to like fish, chicken, vegetables, or whatever bullshit the trainers were feeding me. And, you know.
Why'd you want to be vegetarian back then?
I just was disgusted by meat. I guess like the thought of eating meat always, like I could never eat chicken from like a bone. It had to, like, it just disgusted me.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty gross.
it's disgusting. Yes, it's disgusting. It disgusted me back then.
She said that, I started
Yeah.
visualizing.
Yeah,
I
me
It's
know.
too. I was like, oh,
disgusting.
it's
Yeah,
a
it's
long time,
disgusting. And so, I was just disgusted by it.
Yeah.
But was just terrified of gaining weight. So that kind of trumped that desire to just not eat meat.
Yeah.
But Lars and I adopted 2 cats, Freya and Blue, my baby girls, in 2015. And I remember, like, we were sitting at the dinner table and eating chicken or whatever we were eating. And I remember, like, looking down at the plate and, like, Freya and Blue were walking around the table. And I was like, how is this different than them? Like, I love these cats so much. Like, and I couldn't, like, it was then and there at the dinner table that I was like, I can't eat this. Like, why would I eat this but not eat them? You know? And,
Yeah.
Right.
and it was just like that,
Light
like
bulb
having
went
these
off, yeah.
animals in my house that I loved so much that I made that connection. And so
Beautiful.
I went vegetarian, like, literally right then and there. I was like, I can't eat this chicken. Like,
Wow.
right then and there. And then a couple years later, I had been volunteering with the cat shelter and loved them, 9 Lives in the Bay Area. And I kind of saw this film, Turlock. I think it's called Turlock.
Never heard of that. Have you?
Nope.
A new thing to watch.
Animal Place, who I
Yeah.
work with now, a farmed animal sanctuary, they made this film with Keegan.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Cowspiracy.
Yes,
Keegan,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I saw this, I came across it and was like bawling my eyes out watching. Animal Place went into this farm where they had abandoned like 5,000, no, I think it was even more, like thousands and thousands of chickens. They like ran out of money and just left all these chickens to just wither away, basically. And Animal Place went in and rescued 5,000 of them.
Wow.
And they had documented this. And I was watching this video, like, I remember Lars walked in the bedroom and I was like bawling my eyes out. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, it's this video where Animal Place has gone in and rescued these chickens.
Shit's heavy, man.
And they needed volunteers to help with health checks on chickens. And so I was like, I'm going to go fucking try this. I've never been around chickens before. And I was at Animal Place the next day, helping out with health checks on these chickens. And literally that day I was like, I don't want any more part in the egg industry, because at that point I was vegetarian, so I was still eating eggs and yogurt or whatever bullshit. And I was just like, done. I don't want any part of this. So it was like the animal connection for me.
Yeah,
it's like I didn't want to harm any creatures, at all. So
was your family and everybody around you supportive of that decision?
Really supportive.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, thankfully really supportive. I would say the most frustrating thing would be, like I said, like we would go to Animal Place or whatever for an event and then like come home and they'd still be eating meat. And I'd be like, how the fuck can you still eat this?
Stop in and out on the way home?
Yes. And so not supportive in the sense that they, like
it's hard for people to put that connection together though, and they see that or their plate and how it served to you. It's hard for people to really put that into perspective unless they see a documentary or see like a slaughterhouse video or something like.
But also, I was going to ask, like, do you miss, like, did you like the taste of meat or anything? Like, did you miss that at all? Because a lot of people have a hard time giving up because I can't imagine. Like, I love the taste and
texture.
Yeah.
I don't miss the taste of meat at all. Like even like the fake burgers and stuff, I'll eat occasionally, but I'm not a big fan of like processed food.
Man.
So I guess I eat tofu. I guess that's processed.
That's the most I eat.
Yeah, I eat a lot of tofu, but
my stomach's not down with the fake meat stuff anymore.
I just don't. I don't eat. Occasionally, I will. Especially if you go to Crossroads, they make like insane burgers and whatever. So, but
once in a while, it's a treat.
Once in a while, it's a treat. But no, I did not miss the taste of meat at all. And everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people I meet are like, oh, I can never give up cheese. And I'm like, have you tried vegan cheese? Like, it's so good. It's
getting better.
It's getting way
better.
Yes,
Yeah, totally.
absolutely.
I think that's the main thing needs to be worked on in the vegan world is cheese, but there are a lot of good ones though.
I agree. They're getting there.
Rich Roll's wife has a great one.
She talked it up, and I want to.
I have some for you. My fridge.
Emu
got you.
or what is it called?
I'm gonna go grab it. Yes, to keep talking.
I wanted to
Kite Hill's dope
say,
too.
I was gonna give a shout out to that because Kite Hill's amazing.
Yes.
Yoko's is fucking really
Very
good.
True.
But the one that Toby's grabbing from his fridge right now, I wanted to give a shout out because they sent me some and it was so good.
Because she said, she was like, I'm going to guarantee that this will be the best that you've ever had.
Srimu, I think it's SRIMU, I think. It's really fucking good. She ate it. That's good though. The fact it was all eaten is a good sign. It's a really beautiful packaging and no, the packaging's beautiful, but it tastes really good.
She's amazing as well.
She's amazing.
Yeah,
I went to her birthday party. It was beautiful. I just love it. Like, I've never met her, unfortunately, but
she's intense. She's awesome.
She looks fucking cool.
She's a force.
They're both
cool.
amazing. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway,
okay. So yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah. So
about cheese, I can't give
so
up
the
cheese.
taste, like people the taste.
No, I don't miss.
Okay.
I know people that like.
I know I'll be vegan for the rest of my life. Like, I don't have any question about that. Like, no fucking question. I don't miss anything about anything from animals, and that, other than the love they give me. But no, I don't want anything to do with them in terms of putting it in my body.
I know people that like say they miss the taste too. I have a couple of friends like. It's interesting. Like I didn't quit because of like the taste.
Yeah,
this is people say to me, I quit because it was a health thing, my cholesterol or something, but it was hard to quit the meat. So then they go to the impossible, the beyond, and that's why I think those products are good for meat eaters.
They're incredible.
They're incredible.
It's a great
option.
Gateway.
Yeah. No,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Love these products. It's like the Impossible Burger. There's been times where I've taken a bite of it and I couldn't eat it because it tasted so real.
Yeah.
Right.
And I just felt like weird about it. But no, I love these products.
Yeah.
Oh my God, if it helps someone not order like a beef burger or whatever, a burger from a cow, then oh my God, yeah, I totally support these.
And I think those will get better as well.
Totally.
Too.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is just the beginning for those products. And, you know, I think there's a lot of things that they'll start to realize, like, hey, we can make this even better, like less salt because they're full of sodium.
But so is the meat too.
Yo, absolutely.
But it's probably less, right? It's got to be less than real meat. Who knows? I don't know. Okay.
I know there's no cholesterol, so there's a plus.
True.
Yeah.
So I think it's only going to get better. I think everything nowadays is usually pretty processed at some point, but it doesn't have to be overly processed. You know, it's a process because it's a mass amount of people that need to be fed, and they're trying to make a profit, and they're trying to get it all out there. So it's got to go through a process.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be so much of a chemical process, which a lot of people are like, oh, this fake meat is so processed. It's like, yeah, but there's a big difference between that and the process that, you know, that's taken on to create a beef burger. You know, there's
and cows are killed.
Oh my God.
There's just like the water, you know, the amount of water that he uses,
Totally.
the amount of steroids that the cow is going through.
The methane that the cows are really, absolutely.
Right.
I mean,
the
it's
steroids
just terrible.
that the cows are on.
Absolutely.
And the what's it called? The
gas stuff.
What they're shooting them up for.
Hormones or
hormones as well.
Yeah.
And then also, that everyone needs to get like there're just so many different chemicals and shots put into them beforehand. It's
there's
and
nothing
also
good.
They die scared and stressed, and that goes inside your body.
Exactly.
You know, that's how they die.
And even I've talked to chefs or cooks like in Europe, and they're like, I eat meat, but I know that there's that feeling behind it in the meat that you're taking in. You know, that fear. You know, that's I don't know. I believe in that. You know, I believe that there's feeling behind. You know, things are prepared for you. You know? And especially when you're getting like, let's say, a home cooked meal from somebody that loves you, and you know, you feel that. You feel that. You know, when people are like, oh, I love my home cooked meal.
Totally.
And that definitely can translate. I think, you know, a lot of times with food.
Amen.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Animal Place.
Yeah.
What's Animal Place?
I always want to talk about Animal Place.
Sanctuary that she's part of.
Yeah, Animal Place is a farmed animal sanctuary in Grass Valley, California. It's about 45 minutes north of Sacramento. And they've been a sanctuary for 30 plus years.
Wow.
Kim Sturla, the co-founder, this woman is my hero. She walks the walk. She talks the talk. Like, she is just an angel on earth, and so incredible. But yeah, I'm telling you, the second I stepped foot at the sanctuary to volunteer, I was like, oh, I am worming my way into this fucking like, I just wanted to be with these humans and these animals. Like, they're just an incredible organization that are really just, you know, I've been around other organizations, and there's always something like, not always, but sometimes occasionally I've seen just things that are a little shady, and this is not at all. Like every single human you meet at Animal Place is there solely for animals and to protect animals, to help animals, and it's like when I'm there, I'm like, these are my people, and
cool.
It's incredible.
Is it all animals or like farm animals? Are they
farmed animals?
Farmed animals. Okay.
Oh yeah. Right. So pigs, cows, chickens, goats, donkeys. We have tortoises now.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, aside from saving or rescuing animals, they do a lot of advocacy. So they'll be at a lot of college campuses, and they have a really amazing program called Food for Thought. And so they reach out to other animal organizations and say, hey, if you only serve vegan meals at your fundraisers, this and that, they'll give these organizations like $1,000 grant. And so it's just like, why would you be like a cat and dog shelter but serve like burgers or whatever? Doesn't make any sense. So they really promote a vegan diet to these other organizations. And a lot of them have adopted these diets and have kind of agreed to, we will only do vegan meals. So Animal Place is just incredible. And also they do these large, they're I believe the only sanctuary in the country that do these large scale hen rescues. And
Tony Canal's done one with them.
Actually the only, or no, I've been on a couple others, but the first 2 times I've done these hen rescues where we literally, the first time we went in, it was 2,000 hens we rescued from a farm in Southern California. And it's all in compliance with the farmers. So we're not, everyone's like, oh, you broke in. And well, what does that mean? And I'm like, no. So
what do you mean compliance? That they say it's cool to come take them?
Yeah. So we have these quote unquote relationships with farmers, and when they're ready to depopulate, which means after about 18 months, hen is no longer producing the amount of eggs that are economically sound to a farmer. So they basically what they call depopulate to make room for younger hens to lay more eggs. And
what would they do if you?
They kill them, probably.
Yeah, they kill them. I believe the farm that I did these 2 rescues at with Tony Canal for the first couple times, I believe they gassed them. And it's cruel. And chickens, correct me if I'm wrong, whoever might be listening that knows this, but I think they live till like 8 or 10. So to kill them at a year and a half, I mean, to kill any being is of course wrong, but it's like you're robbing these animals of so much
kill
life.
Them for meat or to eat?
No. Oh no. Well, they're also in just such poor shape. They've been living in cages, these battery cages, and all their feathers are, some of them are almost like featherless because they've been pecking at each other in these close quarters. And so we have relationships with these farmers, and when they're ready to depopulate, I hate that fucking word,
horrible,
they say, hey, if you want to come in, take as many as you want. And so the first time we got to take 2,000, which was incredible, and we get the girls into these crates and put them in our vans, drive them back up to the sanctuary in Northern California.
They're probably so scared, like, where am I going next?
Yeah, oh my God. And you could tell when you're grabbing them out of the cages, they are just terrified because they've only ever known humans caring for them in these terrible ways.
They're thriving at Animal Place, probably just
and
the
coolest fucking thing is opening up these crates, and they've never touched ground before. Like their feet have never, they've only been in these cages that are suspended in the air, these wire cages. And when you open up these cages or these crates that we transport them in, and their wings just like open for the first time, and they touch ground for the first time, and then they start dust bathing for the first time, because that's what chickens are meant to do. It's like that.
I'm getting emotional thinking about this shit.
I know. I'm like holding back tears. It's incredible, and it really is just so fucking cool.
I want to do it. I want to do the next one.
No, absolutely. Please. Oh my God. We would love to have you guys.
That sounds really heavy, but also beautiful at the end.
Yeah.
It's heavy in the sense that like the second one I did, and Tony was there as well. We couldn't take all the chickens from this particular barn we were in. And that one fucked with me a lot. Like the first time I went, we got the whole barn. The second time we went, like seeing the girls that we actually had to leave was really fucked up. Like that really fucked with me. It was really difficult, that one, because it was like leaving a whole row of them after we just took all these other ones up to take them like to fucking chicken heaven.
Yeah, that's
like
brutal, man.
heaven on earth, you know.
Yeah.
Like Animal Place is just this, you're going to be loved for the rest of your life and fed and cared for. And
We're like, oh my God,
yeah,
how did this happen?
so that one was fucked up. So it's difficult. It's emotionally, it's like a roller coaster. But
you think it has an effect on the people working on the farms, or you think they're just completely clueless?
No.
Or like emotionless? Are they just like block it?
It's just their job, man, right? It's like,
but I think unfortunately a lot of people who are working at these, especially factory farms, are immigrants, and you know, they don't want to be working at these, doing these jobs, and I think a lot of them have PTSD and deal with PTSD, but these are like the only jobs that they can get, you know. And so I think it's super fucked up all around, you know. Especially factory farming, is just there's like just no good that comes from it, whether it's the environment, the animals, the emotional toll on the humans who are doing this job. Like nobody wants to fucking do that, you know. And I think there have been a lot of studies with the PTSD that these people deal with after doing these jobs. So it's just,
I would think it would
one
have an
big
impact
fucked up
on
circle.
Them, you know?
they're
just seeing it day in and day out.
Death every day.
Well, I know some of the people at Animal Place have, and they've been incredible, Animal Place, and have provided support to the staff, where someone will come to the sanctuary and just check in on everyone, you know, for their mental health, because it's hard, you know. Like,
I would think it would be.
Yeah, it's like I remember a girl being on the phone with Kim, and someone from Animal Place was shuttling a goat to Davis, which
I know Davis.
To get some health care, and I remember hearing her screaming. Like, Kim's like, hold on, let me just take this call. And I could hear screaming from the other phone into my phone, and the goat had like fallen like over, and I don't know, but it's like, that's what these people are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So I can imagine the people who are like actually like killing these animals and cutting them up or whatever, like fucked up shit they're doing to them, absolutely has an emotional toll on them, for sure. For sure. Nobody wants to be doing that.
We were doing these pig vigils at Farmer John's for like many years. Go down there, you feed the pigs at the truck, you give them water and apples, and then they go. And then like 15 minutes later, you hear him getting like prodded and screaming, and it's over, you know? And my son would go with me like, why can't we just go get one? I'm like, because you get arrested. Like, you can't. So he would always want to try to go and just take a cow, but it just got announced less than 6 months ago that it got shut down. There's no more Farmer John's downtown. But one day my wife and my son went to the back. I didn't go. And they were watching the workers coming out, covered in blood and all rubber gear, just walking home with their lunches in their hands, whatever, all coming out like just like zombies. Almost like, it's crazy, man. I've never been inside one of those places to interview somebody from there. Or
exactly what I was thinking. I mean, they don't have to tell where they work or anything. And I don't want to like harass them. I just want to know what they're feeling, if they feel anything.
It's just a job.
Very curious. You know,
it's the same people. You can't compare, but people that like do open heart surgery every day or deal with people dying every day, and every day it says, "Oh, somebody died today." And they go home to my family, and how do you shut that off and see death? And I don't know if it's the same, but
I don't know if it's the same either.
Well, you're seeing trauma every day, some sort of trauma.
It's trauma,
but whether it's trauma
it's
to us on the outside, but once you're working every day, you might get numb, like you said, immune to it, or like you can just shut it off, even though it's your job. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be an interesting
conversation.
Exactly.
Interesting conversation or a study just to take a look at some of these people and the emotional toll that it takes on them.
Because in the end, they're all going to say, like, the only reason I'm doing this job is for money.
Yeah. Support my family.
Right.
Yeah.
And I get that, you know, but I think, you know, there's many other, I mean, people are I'm trying to put myself in their
so outside
shoes,
perspective, we're like, you
know, like this is limited to prospects of jobs of what you can do, but you know, I think as a whole, as a system, you know, it'd be great, you know, to have government money or money in general, like put towards, saving a lot of these animals, and maybe that could be their new job, instead of like,
seriously,
or something, or reforming, these dairy farms into something else, because it's completely unnecessary. But creating a job flow on the side of protecting these animals and life on this planet.
Absolutely.
And I think there's more room for that in the future, where you can pay people instead of like on the slaughter end, of more life, things that are more adaptable for the planet and for everyone around them. So
what do you guys think of oh God, I don't know what's the word for it. That's kind of like new meat that they're trying to grow from, like where they take like some sort of cell.
From the cells.
I heard about that too.
Yeah, what do you guys think of that, or what's your position on that?
They inject it and take something from a cow?
They take it from the cow, the cells, and then they create a meat in a Petri type dish in a lab, and they create
basically
meat.
Like grow meat.
So is it really meat they're taking?
It's meat.
It comes from an animal. I mean,
it's just
I
a cell.
wouldn't eat it, but I think it's amazing.
I would never. I think it's incredible because I wouldn't eat it. Exactly, I wouldn't eat it either.
Me either.
But I think it's a great alternative for people.
It's a big step.
It's a huge step.
In the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Saving animals. Right.
And imagine the jobs that could provide.
Exactly.
Healthier for the climate, the planet, animals, humans.
So
all
let me get
around.
this. So they just like stick a needle in a cow,
the cells.
and they take a cell, and they let the cow go free to the farm to run around.
The cow is fine.
Okay.
You're just getting
the cow is not harmed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe. Yeah.
Yes.
And the cow goes and waits in the corner with the other cows, and they bring him to a free farm, and they all live happy together and eat grass all day. I'm just saying, what happens after they do that?
That's the idea.
Do they say that cow's damaged now because we took something out of it?
No, nothing like that. I mean, I think a lot of people are so funny when they're just like, "Oh man, but if we didn't eat cows, they'd be running all over the place."
I know,
I'm like,
dude.
It's like, why?
They're already here. It's like,
I was like, do you understand that they're mass producing these animals? It's so. Once you stop doing that, then you don't have to worry about cows running, taking over, or it's
just like the chickens when they're done having the babies. We don't need you no more.
Yeah, they're mass, but they're mass produced. It's not like in a natural state of like chickens just making love and then overpopulating. It's because we're creating them.
Absolutely.
You think chickens make love? I was just thinking about that. You said that. That was really nice.
I love that. I know that is such a sweet way to put it.
I never nobody say that. I'm sure chickens make love. I'm sure there's like they find their partners. I don't know. That was really
I love that. That is beautiful. That did touch me a little bit. I was like, ooh, I like that.
The facesummit.org, that's like the website for a lot of stuff you're doing.
Faces?
Facesummit.org.
Oh, yeah. So that was, facesummit.org.
Yeah.
So that facesummit.org is Animal Place has a farmed animal conference every year. Or no, I'm sorry. Was it every 2 years? I believe they would do it actually at the sanctuary.
Okay, yeah.
Which I went to actually that's where I first met Tony and Gary. Was at the one in 2017. And where I first met Kim and everybody, because before I'd been there, I was just volunteering. So they would have a farmed animal conference every 2 years, I believe, at the sanctuary. But of course, with the pandemic, they had to do it virtually. Yeah. So now we do it online, and thank you so much for being a part of it.
I just did it with him like a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it was really. Actually,
people
still
like
haven't
it?
seen it. Yes, but people really like it. So thank you for doing that. I know it was. We talked about it for a while, and finally.
What'd you do? What?
We just like on the screen would talk about his veganism and our lives and how it started for us and what we do with it and promoting it and living it and
all right.
Spreading the good word for the animals.
I see you. So they used to do it at the sanctuary every year. Where it was I've only done it once because it was in 2017. I'm not sure what happened in 19, but
it's all a blur.
It's all a blur, yeah. But
we get these years back? Like how like life's going by really fast since I'm in my 50s. I just
bud.
Yeah. Those 2 years. Whatever you believe in up there, if there's somebody, if there's whatever people believe, God or whatever, does he say, you know what, guys, everybody down there, you made it through. Those 2 years don't count. Like, do you get those back?
They count, man. Come on. We were hanging out.
I don't know. That's true.
It was.
There's things I look back on the 2 years. Like I was like with my boys, it was me, Lars, my step boys. So we had a lot of downtime, and the fact like, which I'm sure you guys can relate to. Like, of course, we're so fortunate that we get to get up and go and travel the world and, you know, all this crazy shit that we're up to. But it was kind of nice to know that, like, okay, next month I'm going to be home. You know, we're just fucking here for a while. Like,
that's true.
It's kind of nice to, like, settle aside from people getting sick, of course. So there were some, you know, if we had to find positive things about it. But it does
Mother Nature gives us a time out.
For sure.
Gives a whole other time out.
Yeah.
But it does feel like a blur. There was something like we were talking about last night where it was like, whoa, that was 4 years ago, because it feels like it was a couple years ago, but these last 2 years are, I don't know, like the lost years.
Yeah. So you've got some positives out of the pandemic and being home and with your family and working on things. And
I mean, that's all we could do, right? Is like try to find the fucking positive in it.
I know, man.
But even like I was just at this festival two festivals in Kentucky the last couple weeks, and being at a music festival, I was like, I just was like appreciating music in such a different, like live music in such a different way. And like,
True. Yeah.
I was never like so mindful at a festival before. Like
You've been to a million of them.
I've been to a million of them, like thankfully. But this one, or these last two, I remember like getting goosebumps watching like Nine Inch Nails and Jack White.
Seven Dust.
Fuck yeah, go Seven Dust. And no, seriously, like having such a different appreciation to it. So
it is true, man.
I definitely.
I mean, we have to find the positive. And of course, I'm so inspired by you, Toby. You know, it's like you're like one of the most, if not the most positive fucking person I know. And it really is just so inspiring. And that energy you give out is so infectious. Like I remember the first time you and I got to talk and meet actually over the pandemic. So another positive thing that came out of the pandemic, you know, it's like the only thing we could do is look for the positive in these shitty years.
Do our best.
And it's all we can do.
And music's so healing, and it's such a connection, and it's such, it's just so powerful. And to have that gone for that long, even this, not even being a musician, not playing and losing that part of your soul and your heart, you can't be out there. Just listen. I don't know. It's just so important to so many people. Not just playing, but listen, being a fan of music myself and wanting to go to shows.
No, absolutely. I think being a fan was stepped up. Like it changed after the whole pandemic and seeing shows. Like I see it in a different way.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely have a different feeling where it's like, wow, this is really more important than I ever imagined. I'm never going to take it for granted ever again. Right. You know,
we can go book a show and play when you want to play and go do a tour.
I mean, even being on stage, it was hard to imagine like going back in a weird way, because I was so set, like, this is life. You got to deal with what's going on and try to survive as much as possible. And so being on stage again, it's like really emotional, you know, it's like you know, it has that feeling. And seeing other bands, like I was so grateful to have that appreciation again, you know, it was just like, wow, you know, this is
absolutely
that feeling of being everyone in the same room or in a festival. That energy level was something that I truly missed, you know, until I was just like, wow, you know, like I get goosebumps thinking about it. You know? It's just like, oh my God, it's so intense, and this is what drew me to music in the first place. You know, that feeling again, it was kind of like a rebirth.
Also nervous and anxious too, coming out of this and going live again, and what's it going to be like, and what's the vibe going to be with the crowd, and just, you know, I was stoked to have a barricade the first show back, because I hate barricades. Barricades. And I was like, yo, this is nice. You're outside. I was like, this is a good way to ease back into it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But now I'm just like, whatever, jump on top of me, let's stage dive, get sweaty.
Hell yeah.
But at first, it was just like, this is kind of cool, easy way to go back into it.
Right.
We went out to Lars's first show back. Were you with him on that? First show back playing?
God, what was his first show back? I know, I definitely was. I'm trying to think what it was. His first show back.
Was it in the States?
Yes.
I have a feeling it was.
It definitely was the States. Jeez,
probably like a nervous, anxious energy, excitement. What's it going to be?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But it was, definitely. But it was also pretty weird, like the first couple, or like the first year, I would say they were back actually playing shows, because you guys know, it's like being at a show, especially festivals, it's like going out and saying hey to like your friends or whatever. Like that's like the fun.
It's part of it.
Yeah, that's
but then
part
you're in
of
these bubbles in the beginning.
We
where
were
you
in
couldn't see
like
nobody.
bubbles where we could
was
not like see.
anybody
Like I had like
backstage.
family members at shows. It's like, I'm sorry, I can't come out and say hi to you because
Yeah.
I was like with the band, and if
Right.
one of these guys gets COVID,
over,
then the
man.
whole show's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tour is over, you know.
Yeah.
So it was also nice in a sense. It's like, fuck yeah, live music again. But in a way, it was like, this isn't like what a rock
Yeah.
show's supposed to
Yeah.
be. You know, it's supposed to be like
You're totally
togetherness and.
But then it's also the part where it's like I don't have to see 1,000 motherfuckers and say hi to them after the show, or like have to make sure everybody's okay, they got the
Yeah.
right seats.
Yeah,
the
you
right,
said it, not me.
do you know? You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I mean? They just play your show.
Yeah.
Go, and just
Okay,
chill. Go to your
yeah.
hotel.
It was kind of nice.
In a way, there
Yeah.
was something, I guess, a little nice.
See some
yeah.
random cousin that never comes to talk to you, and she comes to your show. Your third cousin, like, can I go?
No,
list?
but you're right.
Sorry,
I remember just
we're in
the
a bubble,
tranquility of,
yeah.
like, we're in the bubble, and it's like, oh, this backstage is really, really nice and calming, and with your thoughts, and it was like.
That's good for them though. But now it's like you want to see everybody now, right?
No, now I do, but it was weird at first,
Yeah,
like
I
you
guess-
said, because I was excited.
All
to
right,
see.
fair enough. You guys are right. In a sense, it was, you know, like we'd be at these shows where normally we'd have to go say hi to like 60 people or
Totally.
something,
Yeah,
and you can't
yeah.
speak by the end of the show or whatever. So in a sense, yeah, that was nice, but
It's also weird and quiet and like
yeah, but I remember like I was just at this festival, Louder Than Life, in Kentucky, doing a new project. But Lars played there a year ago, and I was just there a year later. And he was like, "What is it like this year? And is it like better?" I was like, "It's like a completely different festival. Like it's." Because last year when we were there, we didn't see anything. We were just back in this little
right.
compound
Yeah.
and didn't see shit. And this time, everybody just felt like it was like one big family,
oh,
you
so
know,
everybody's
and
alive
it
around-
was
yeah, it's
Right.
nice.
such a cool vibe. And people were I was interviewing artists, and
Yeah.
everyone was just so chatty, and so I was like,
We're
fuck.
excited to be outside.
If only people knew, like, who are outside of like the hard rock community, the punk rock community, you know, like could see all this love between this group of people, you know. It's like people
Yeah.
wouldn't expect it. It's like, oh, drugs and partying and this and that. It's like, no, there is
No.
so much fucking love and support,
Yeah.
especially now after these
Totally
last couple
now.
years. And so I was like, dude, this is a completely different festival this
Yeah.
year, you know.
New
because-
appreciation, I think.
New
for the band.
appreciation.
True, that's true. I
yeah,
definitely
it's-
felt that.
So you guys as artists feel that too within the
For sure.
community?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
Put things
absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
people
cool.
are very, loving and
That's
supportive and in so many ways. You know,
People
just-
need it just
you can
like
see
we
it on
need
their
it, though.
face. Yeah, absolutely. You see it on their faces.
And you see their faces.
yeah,
And smiling. And
smiling.
fucking all that, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
you can feel that for sure.
What's your new project you're working on? Let's go.
So I'm
called?
we don't have an actual name for it, but it's with Rolling Live Studios
Nice.
and
I know
Licorice
that.
Pizza Records.
Great movie, by the way.
Yeah, great movie, but
movie. It's pretty
also
good.
which I learned Carrie Brown, who I'm doing this with, or one of the guys I'm doing this with, is so Licorice Pizza Records used to be like this kind of like it was like the record store
Yeah.
in, I guess, the Los Angeles area,
Yeah, I
Southern
thought it was like in the Valley or
California.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So he actually acquired the name before the movie came out, and it just so happened to like coincide with this movie came out.
Wow.
So it was funny when we were interviewing people at these festivals in Kentucky, they were like, the movie? Like, what is this about? And they're like, no. And so it got a little confusing, but
Right.
yeah, so it's actually, he acquired the name Licorice Pizza Records.
Gotcha.
That was the record store,
Yeah.
this like beloved record store in Southern California. So yeah, we are, it's very new for us. We were interviewing artists and kind of seeing where it's going to go. But he was doing a lot during the pandemic in terms of like bringing live music or streaming live music
Yeah.
and interviews and just getting, you know, that content to people who were hungry for live music and
Yeah.
artists. And yeah, so it was really cool getting, I mean, for me, like I said, I don't play an instrument, not for
Yeah.
anybody to hear anyways.
But you're a music fan, so you
I'm
know.
such a music fan, and so it's like a dream job. And
So you're a host,
yeah,
and so you're
Yeah.
interviewing.
artists.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw some clips.
totally. Yeah, it's
Have,
like
have you interviewed people before? Have you done this before?
never before.
Okay.
I'm sure
Alright.
you've seen your man be interviewed a million times.
1,000 times.
Right.
Yeah, and I honestly, when when Carrie and Matt Pinfield were also doing this
saw he was
with,
in
is
there,
like, I'm like, what the fuck am
Yeah,
I
I saw he
doing
was
sitting
there.
next to Matt Pinfield doing this? It's such
He looks
such
great,
an
by the way. He
honor.
looks great,
Yeah.
Thanks, Toby. Yeah, it's such an honor. But no, I remember we've been talking about this project for a year, and I was like dreading it. Not dreading it like, oh, this sounds like it sucks, but like, I'm not going to be good at this. Like, I'll be terrible at this. But once we got out there, I was like, it was just like so
Flowing.
comfortable and flowing,
Right,
and
cool.
I enjoyed it so much. It's like, this is, like I said, I used to like turn down like really big modeling jobs where my agent would be like, are you fucking high? Like, what are you doing? And, you know, like to go see live music. So being able to talk to these artists, especially ones that I, you know, have been listening to since I was like 12, 13 and going and seeing live, it was like second nature. It was like, oh
Right.
yeah, like this is fucking awesome. So I really, really enjoyed it, and it came really naturally. I would say, thank
cool.
God.
So it's like a couple questions, and you show clips of the band playing or something like that from what the show.
I'm
is
not
at?
sure how
Yeah.
he's gonna be editing it. But yeah, we did a lot of footage from live, from out in the crowd, from
cool.
backstage with the artists. Yeah, so I think it'll be a little bit of everything.
Where will you
but-
be able to watch it? Like,
So rollinglivestudios.com.
okay.
Where you could see it right now, and
cool.
yeah,
Nice.
I'm really excited.
Check it
You need
out.
highwaytohealth.com. You already have it already, correct?
You're correct.
So you have a website, highwaytohealth.com.
Yes.
So you have clips on there too of some of your stuff.
No, but we're really gonna move forward.
Okay.
with it.
Dude, what a fucking name like that.
He's got a show.
Yeah.
He did a bunch of
Yeah.
pilots for it. He's been trying
Badass.
2 or 3 years trying to shop
Highway
this
to
thing.
health.
Oh,
Traveling.
actually, I've heard about that. You also do it with
Tanya.
Yes. Oh fuck. Yes,
Yeah.
I've been waiting for that.
Yeah.
See?
I remember seeing
on,
like
son.
teasers for
Yes,
it,
we
and
had the
I
teasers.
believe Elisa and I were talking
Yes.
about it,
Right.
And so I was like looking. I saw teasers for it, and it's been like in the back of my mind, like where the
See?
fuck is this?
It's
Because
a small world.
no,
See, I brought that shit up,
traveling,
bro.
traveling the world and getting on Happy Cow and finding restaurants is
Yeah.
like
Happy
Lar-
Cow's a life
Yeah.
changer.
mine and Lars's favorite thing to do
Shout out
before
to
we
Happy
go
Cow.
to. Shout out to Happy
Whoever
Cow.
invented Happy Cow, you're fucking amazing.
You
Thank
are my
you, Happy
hero,
Cow.
man.
The
Like
cows appreciate you, and we appreciate
we
Yeah,
appreciate you,
absolutely.
absolutely. But like that is our favorite thing to do. Is like, okay, we're gonna be in Buenos Aires. Like let's
Yeah.
look like see. So we have our whole schedule planned out, and I was like, there should be. I was talking to Elisa about like there should be a show around that. She's like, I think there already is. Like Derek's doing
Right.
it, Tanya. Yeah. So
we've been.
I've
working
been
on it.
wondering
Yeah.
where.
We were trying to sell. We're trying to sell it. Like we have 8 episodes. We have a lot of
They're great.
footage in there, and it's. Oh, who is it?
Ooh.
Mystery guest.
Dun dun
But
dun.
yeah, we filmed a lot. Toby's in the first episode. We went to. So the idea is like basically, we're like people are gonna want to know who Tanya and I are.
Yeah.
Like, where did you guys come from, and why are you plant based? And so we went to where we were born, you know, Cleveland, where I was born, and we went to where Tanya was born in Ireland, and then we filmed in Brazil. And then
Wow.
Tanya was playing on the Kiss cruise and with Steven Adler. And
Oh
so
my
then we went on
God.
that.
How cool.
And so we have all these different people from different walks of life on it. Not all of them are vegan because we're trying to reach people who aren't vegan. You know, we don't want to preach to
Absolutely.
the choir.
Absolutely.
So we're really doing it in a fun way. And exactly that, you know, people we met from traveling and kind of breaking those stereotypes that exist.
What's happening, Max?
How are you?
Max is in the house.
Boom.
Woohoo.
I got off work early.
Oh, good to see you.
What's up with that? I like you got a lot of Fred Perry's going on here.
How was work? Oh, don't talk. Talk
Yeah,
to the mic.
yeah,
If
yeah.
you're talking to the mic.
So
Get
yeah,
out of here. We
Yeah,
love you.
get out.
The podcast is great. We're
come
awesome.
on, man. Thanks. Yeah, we're doing really
not
good
ready
here,
yet.
Max.
Go.
Aw,
Talk about
little
your
Max.
Max. We love you.
We love you, Max.
Yeah, much
Max is
love,
coming
homie,
tonight.
little homie.
Oh.
Keep
So
talking
yeah,
about-
yeah. So anyway, yeah. So that's the idea of, you know, like people can see around the world how the world is changing,
Totally.
and how and show it in a way
100%.
where it's just like easy to make adjustments depending, no matter where you are in the world. So
That's
I think
really
it's really
fucking
important.
cool,
I've
Derek.
never seen a show like that. You know, I love these travel shows and cooking shows. Anthony Bourdain.
I was gonna say,
love.
yeah. Oh my
But
God.
this is like a different twist, and I think it's a very positive show. And so, you know, I think it's going to happen. I know it will. But we're thinking, you know, maybe we should just release it our own way as far as on a YouTube channel or something like
Right.
that, because people are starving for good content, you know.
I think that's really cool because, like the Anthony Bourdain show you were saying, it's like I remember watching that show, or like I think during the pandemic was the first time I saw it. I was like, oh, check this out. I thought it was just going to be all about food, but
no, it's
more like a cultural experience of each place that he's going. And so, but what's so cool about there's a lot of cool things, but when we're traveling, seeing the people who are not even vegan,
right?
Like the chefs we meet or whatever, it's like how turned on they get by this challenge and like the creativity that goes into it, but to also see like their flavor, their cultural
twist to it.
To it is so mind-boggling. You know what I mean? So I think it's also, like you said, for people, it's like to appeal to people who aren't vegan.
Right.
Like it's like, oh my God, there's so much creativity that's behind this, and it's
options.
Options.
And it's great to hear like those stories about why did that person in, let's say, a small place got into that. I always love hearing those stories, how it happened and what changed their life.
Lucky few, there's like a lot of directors and producers and all from Netflix and Hulu that listen to the podcast, so you get your deal.
I mean, we're really, of course, we have big dreams to put it on that, where everybody can see it, but
where it should be
with YouTube and things like that, it's becoming, it's great that so many people have accessibility to YouTube more than anything.
For
sure. Good things about that YouTube.
The YouTubes is really happening.
No, I'm serious. Like you get paid, that you split the money with you, they advertise. It's some good things about YouTube.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And then also people are saying that people aren't even watching TV anymore. Like younger people are really watching a lot more like YouTube and the TikToks.
That is true. Like I said, I have a 15-year-old stepson, and when we walk in his room, every time it's YouTube.
Right?
He's on. Excuse me. He's on YouTube.
Are you on TikTok?
I am not, but I was with Miles and Lane last night, my two older stepsons who have a new band, Taipei Houston.
Yeah, they're dope.
And thank you. Yeah, they are fucking rocking. So we're so proud of them. But they have done the TikTok thing, and they're so good at it. I'm like, so I told them last night, I was like, I will download TikTok to just watch your TikToks. Yeah. But no, I haven't gotten into the TikTok thing yet. I feel like Instagram already stresses me out, so I'm easing my way into. So I was also really late to Instagram. I mean, I actually think I started that in like 2017 too. But people have been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
And,
do you check your DMs? You check messages?
I do actually check my DMs. Yeah, I'm not great at them. Like, I get to them I still have some that probably go way back that I need to get back to. I apologize.
It's a weird thing. Like, have you noticed that I didn't realize I wasn't getting all my DMs?
There's like 3 different sections, like primary. There's some other one.
Yeah. So sometimes I get a little overwhelmed by them, but I eventually check them. Yeah, for sure. Which I'm happy. I mean, there's sometimes people that you don't have their number, but you know them and haven't seen them in a while, and it's like, oh fuck, So it's a cool tool in a way, but overwhelming and stressful at times.
It can be
for someone who's not great at social media.
Yeah.
Do you have any daily rituals?
Daily rituals, other than coffee.
Other than 7 coffees.
Jeez,
you know, yoga.
I used to practice a lot of yoga, but I loved going to classes and like being around people, and so that kind of stopped during the pandemic. But I've actually gotten really into swimming lately.
Nice.
Okay. So I've been swimming a lot the past few months.
Yeah.
So that's kind of become my ritual. Swimming.
Where do you swim? At your house or a YMCA?
At our house.
Okay.
Yeah.
YMCA.
Yeah. We're lucky to have a pool and but anywhere. Like I love, of course, like oceans or rivers, particularly lakes. Yeah. So I love something other than a pool, but I'll swim anywhere. Yeah. I really have kind of taken up swimming in the last several months. It's become a big daily ritual of mine.
You meditate?
No, not enough. No. I used to find yoga was meditative for me, but like I said, I got to get back to yoga. I just loved the class, and I was doing it. Dave LaRoe, who's one of my favorite teachers back in the Bay Area, I was doing a lot of stuff with him on Zoom, and I love it. I just loved the class experience, and so I just kind of fell off the yoga wagon a little bit. But swimming has kind of become my thing. It's like, I just got to get into some water, and
it's cool.
Yeah, it's something very healing about it. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it.
Yeah, I like going to the ocean. I never really liked it when the pandemic started. My son started surfing, and I started going with him, and I started going further and further out because I'm always sharks.
I am too. Yeah, I am
now,
too.
like, it was something so peaceful, especially during the pandemic. Nobody's at the beach, and my son's surfing. I'm like in the water, and there's this. We would go, Derek.
Yeah,
it's just nice being in the ocean. It's beautiful, man.
Fresh water is.
Yeah,
I don't know how fresh it is in LA.
Yeah, true.
But just being in the ocean,
the
that calm.
Sound,
you know what I'm saying?
The
I love
sound
it.
of the ocean is so calming.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So calming.
You seem you consider yourself an optimist or pessimist? You seem very positive.
Thanks, Toby.
I like when people say nah.
Nah.
It's all a facade.
No, I would say I am a newfound optimist. I would say like I even to be quite honest, Lars would always say you're always like expecting the bad to happen. And I don't know if that was like a way to protect myself, you know, like or maybe help people protect themselves like so you don't get hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I can see that from what you went through in the modeling world too.
Yeah. I can see that now too when I look back on it. But lately I've been like so fucking positive. And,
all right.
Well, so you know what someone told me actually over the summer? Basically, if the future is fiction, you know, it's like, okay, I knew I was going to be here at whatever o'clock and do this podcast with you. That was a fact. I didn't know how it was going to go. So it was all fiction. Everything in the future is fiction. So why not make a good fiction? Why not, you know, if you're going to write your story in the future, why make it a bad story if it's fiction? And so it's kind of, someone said that to me and it really stuck with me in the last several months and was just an insanely profound thing to me. So I would say I'm newly optimistic, thankfully.
Yeah,
it's like, why?
Yeah.
It takes too much energy to be worried and sad. It's
I agree.
I'm just trying to focus on the things that I could control, and most of the things we can't control. And so I'm trying to just like lock the things I guess can't control in a box, you know, and just it's
I just started going to a therapist. I'm going to my first session tomorrow.
Wow,
I had
congratulations.
like the first consultation like 2 weeks ago. It's been something that nobody in my family has ever done, and I had a guest on the podcast. It's called Jessica Alexander, and she inspired me by her story. Yeah. And she connected with this amazing woman that I've already seen once, and so like that's like a new journey for me, and I think it's exciting.
It's good for you.
It's great. I've been doing therapy for the last 4 years, I think, and it's been like a roller coaster, but I would say
same
like
person or you switch out?
Same person,
okay,
yeah. But I've seen others throughout, you know, it's like there's so many different kinds of therapists you could see. And
there's a trauma one I'm going to,
Yeah, I saw a trauma therapist. But there's also different things you could do. Like, have you heard of EMDR?
Yes.
Which is incredibly powerful. So it's, you kind of like hold these devices in each hand.
Yep.
And the therapist is talking you through a traumatic event in your life, but these devices keep buzzing in each hand. Boom, boom.
Yeah, I was holding them last week.
Boom, boom.
Really?
I held them last week.
And it does something to your brain to where it like helps you rewrite this traumatic event in your life. And I did it twice. And it had such a fucking profound effect on me. Yes. Like, and I was like crying through each of them. But then afterwards I think back to like these two particular events that I did the EMDR with, and I'm like, whatever. It like really does almost rewrite these events in your life.
Did
and
somebody explain to you before you did it what happens or what transpires? Like, did somebody...
Not a couple people did, and were like, "Oh, it's just super powerful. You got to try it."
Too,
but
though, for me,
I don't know if I really kind of understood what I was really going into, and so I did kind of go into it a little bit like, what is this? What am I getting myself into?
I didn't get there yet. I just held them because you said this would be good for your nerves, and then she also said that I could buy some, and me and my son could each hold one when we fly because we hate flying.
Yeah, me too.
And we could get one of those for flying. Yeah,
interesting.
She's also going to maybe do some hypnotism stuff for me about flying.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm not a big flyer either, so that's...
my whole life I've hated it.
Yeah, me too, which is ironic
and
for us.
I'm not scared about anything happening in the plane. It's the whole process of going there, getting there, and take off, and then having like being locked in and not being able to get up when I want. It's a weird thing for me.
Yeah, it's like a control thing.
And the craziest thing is that I make my whole band. Well, I'm in charge. I always book the flights. I sit in the last row.
That's a worst seat.
I know.
Really? Next to the toilet?
have
Yeah,
to
that is
sit-
the worst.
Worst is the most bumpiest. The
Dude.
worst.
Yeah, the bumpiest.
I have to be by the toilets.
I can
And
see
what's
you.
what's
yeah.
crazy about that is I will not lock the bathroom door. I am so scared of airplane bathrooms and being stuck in the bathrooms.
I'll tell you 2 movies you don't need to see. Them.
Oh.
So these are my.
I think I could think of
And
at least one
I've
of
already
those.
told this lady this already. We're gonna get into it this week, I hope. Those are my 2 things. I have my son or somebody stand by the bathroom door. I won't do that lock in the bathroom, and then I have to sit in the back by the bathroom. And I never barely use the bathroom. It's so weird, man.
That is.
And
Wow.
now my whole band, when they fly, they love it. They fly in the back row even though we're not with me.
You guys are
Really?
crazy.
I was
That
gonna
is-
say.
that is- oh my god.
No, I'm not a
swear.
back row.
Yeah, back row. No
Well,
way.
also I just like to get off the plane as
I
soon as
know.
possible.
That's
so
the one thing they hate that I do. But I shout out to my band because they support me and they all sit by me in the back. I don't know why. I've always
that
been
is
like
serious
that.
support.
that is
because,
serious support.
I mean,
I don't know what it is. I've never had any problems, any kind of crazy with flying. I don't know. It's interesting, man.
That is interesting.
I'm trying to get into it in my mind and see where
it's
that comes
definitely
from.
a lot smoother. You fly in the wings.
And
Yeah.
I've been trying to. Yeah, I know. Max
Yep.
hates
Wings
flying
are
in the back.
good.
Yeah, wings are great.
So this is these little weird things about myself I'm trying to figure out, you know. So we're gonna
I
find
hear
out all
you.
this stuff, and then also, I've always repeated myself, and that's the one thing that bothers my son and my
yeah,
wife.
it drives them crazy.
So repeating myself, and the one thing I was told already from this lady, right from the jump, as we're talking, I started just emptying myself to her, and it was only a consultation, and she was just saying, since I grew up in a loud house and I have 2 older brothers, that I was always trying to like be heard. So I'll be the smallest, youngest one, always repeating myself to be heard, and always
Aw,
wanting to
Toby.
be no. So she brought that up, and
That
I came
makes
home and
sense.
told my family, like, that makes total sense.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Yeah. Cut them some slack, Max. Come on.
Aw.
Go on the mic. Go on the mic. Go on the mic.
Yeah.
Here.
Why are you talking about therapy?
Because we're talking about it.
Okay, good question.
Where are you
How
going?
did we touch on that?
With
Okay.
your dad's shoes. Okay.
So I can't talk about therapy. Listen, when I start really opening up from this therapist, because all I talked about on this podcast is about how I need therapy, and I'm finally going. I'm gonna share with people
Shout out. Yes.
because this lady
that's
shared it
great.
with me and got me inspired to do it.
No, I think
So
therapy
it's
is.
only gonna make me a better dad and a better husband.
You're not a bad dad or a bad husband.
Oh, don't make me cry on the podcast, man.
Aw.
Don't make me cry on the podcast.
Love you, Max.
God, get out of here, please. Stop, you little
Sweetheart.
punks.
It's just telling facts. You know?
Anyway, so yeah.
No, I think therapy it's helped me tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the last couple years, you know,
Yeah.
I've definitely opened up more to it and like, oh, okay, I'll try EMDR. And it's like,
Right.
fuck. I think you definitely have to be open to it.
Yeah.
I guess like anything, but, yeah, I guess I always wonder, I feel so fortunate to have such an incredible therapist that I always just think about folks who need therapy
Yeah.
or could benefit from therapy and maybe don't have the opportunity to do it. So
Good
I hope
point,
there's
yeah.
I don't know if there's programs out there, organizations that can provide therapy to folks who may be seeking it. But I always just feel so incredibly fortunate that I get to do something like EMDR or whatever, because I think so many people would benefit from it, but maybe don't have that opportunity.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I think I remember being in school and talking to like my school counselor about stuff, and she was amazing.
That
I
was
feel
the
like- I feel-
therapist for back in the day.
Yeah, and I feel,
Yeah,
I
school
feel, I feel like,
counselor,
I feel
you're
like the
right.
kids still
Yeah.
have that opportunity now. Like, if they don't want to talk to their parents or like a relative or a brother or sister, they could talk to the counselor or teacher or try to talk to somebody, not keep things inside.
Absolutely,
It's
for sure.
so important, you know,
Yeah.
just letting
yeah.
it out.
True. True.
It's such a crazy world these days.
I have a completely different question. Back to the model game.
Go, girl. Are you enjoying yourself so far?
Big time.
This is so chill, right?
It's so chill.
We haven't talked about life.
But not
Oh,
anymore
yeah.
with
But
this
you
question.
talked about
No,
some
I'm
amazing things so far, yeah.
Oh, thanks to you. This is such a great conversation. I've even, like you were talking about how Stella farts during these things.
Did
I
she?
think I even caught a couple whiffs, and then I would
Okay.
realize that she was below.
And she's on the
I was
floor.
like, oh,
She really
Stella.
farted
She's
right?
got to
Cool.
let it
Sorry.
out.
Okay,
No,
yeah.
I love
Stella.
Stella. She could fart all she wants on me.
What's your question, Derek?
How much of the modeling game you feel, percentage-wise, when somebody's modeling is attitude and looks? Like, what percentage level you think is important or is really important? You know, because I always felt that there's a lot of good-looking people, or there's people everywhere in the world, interesting faces, but with personality and attitude, there's certain people that's come across super strong. You
Yeah.
know? And I don't know how much of you think in that percentage is.
I think that's a really great question. I think attitude has a lot to do with it.
Right.
Honestly.
I always felt
and
that.
maybe that was like maybe where I fucked up because I was no, not that I think
Right.
I was like being rude to people or whatever.
No.
It was more I was trying so hard to be accepted or be liked. I don't think I was being myself
I
throughout
see.
my whole modeling
Right.
career. And I think the more you're unique in yourself and have a good attitude, and people are receptive to that, people want that around. And
Yeah.
I think that's just our nature.
Mm-hmm.
It's so I definitely think attitude has a lot to do with it.
what I think.
And
That's
I just
like,
think that I
right.
sucked at that. Like I never would go to parties.
Right.
I'd be like in Milan, Paris during Fashion Week, and would never go to the fashion parties and be around people because I was just so, I don't know, just scared of it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
act stupid.
You were so
or,
young, too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
I was so scared to be myself, and so I would just say, especially for people who are just starting out modeling or whatever, acting, whatever, music. The more you're just yourself and unique and
Yeah.
is like, I think that's more important than your looks any day
Absolutely.
because confidence is fucking so attractive,
Yeah.
someone
No
who's
doubt
like
about it.
super confident, not like overly like,
Right.
but like someone who's confident is attractive.
Yeah.
You just want to be with that person, not
Right.
Yeah.
doesn't have to be like romantic, but just like, fuck, I love that person. I want to be with that person. I feel good when I'm around that person. And I think that really shows with
And I'm
models.
glad that
so.
you said that. It applies to many different things,
Absolutely,
especially in
for
music.
sure.
And I think a lot of young people can thrive from that info. Be yourself, like 100%. Don't be
Always,
afraid
man.
of that.
No, and I know it sounds cheesy, but I really
No, but it's-
mean it. I really think I would have had a.
Right.
I'm so fortunate for the career I had, but I think I would have had an even bigger career if I was myself. Because now it's like I said,
Yeah.
I'm finally starting to like be comfortable in my body and just
Right.
feel like me. And I feel like
probably-
opportunities are coming now, and
Right.
it's like. I just think when you give that sort of energy, it's you get it back, and
Yeah,
that's my
yeah.
belief, anyways.
'Cause
or
I've seen a lot
experience.
of them, like especially in the modeling game. Like there's in Brazil, looks are very important, I
Yeah.
think, and that culture. And I met a lot of different models and certain people, and it just felt that way, like when there's a lot of like very pretty girls or whoever who was modeling in that game, but then the ones that stuck out were the ones that were just like very self-confident, just
Absolutely.
like being themselves, like whatever, like I got this job and it was okay and whatever. But they were, like you said, you wanted to be around that energy, people just being themselves. It was just refreshing.
Well, and especially with modeling, I think it shows in the pictures. It's
Yeah.
like
Totally.
someone could be
Totally.
super hot or whatever, but if they're not fun to work with and like a
This
drag,
Right.
like then the
Yeah.
whole set just
Yeah,
gets
and it-
like tainted, and it's
Right.
like it's no. So I definitely
Yeah.
think attitude has a lot to do with it for a lot of different fields, like we were
And
were
that
saying.
game has
Yeah.
changed in the modeling world. Like from the super, you remember when we were younger, there was like the supermodels,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the original.
Yeah.
Those
Oh, yeah.
OGs are still like
They're
in my mind.
still
I'm like,
fucking rocking.
they're still rocking it.
They're
Like,
Yeah.
still
you know
rocking.
what I'm saying? Like when
Totally.
Toby and I were working on the same street in Soho, I was working for Russell Simmons, so there was like his wife was coming in with the whole baby fat thing.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of models that were like Cindy Crawford or
Who looks amazing still.
Oh my God.
yeah, Naomi Campbell, like,
Naomi
and I had
Campbell.
to take all this stuff to like their places, like, yo, take some baby fat stuff to their places. I was like, oh my God, like really?
Yeah. No, but you're right. When
But
I
they're
think
still,
I think of Christy Turlington, who's
yeah,
like
yeah.
the sweetest fucking human being on the planet, and she is just killing it till this day,
Yeah,
and I think that
exactly.
has a lot to do with it. She's like one of those women who, had a lot more experience before I did, and so she
Yeah.
was just so cool to me. And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
just like I think I remember those women who were just fucking cool
Yeah,
and like,
yeah.
hey, how you
Yeah.
doing? Give me their phone number if you need anything, if you want to talk. Like,
Right.
I remember that, and it shows on their part. Like they're still
Absolutely.
working and killing the fucking
Totally.
game. I can
Yeah.
think of women I worked with.
I know.
Oh my
no-
God!
no-
like
those
I have stories, and just like, I don't know what they're doing. It's just nobody
Right.
wants that energy. It's just.
Yeah, it's nice you remember the positive ones that impact on you. It's-
Amber Valletta, Christy, absolutely. I remember the girls who like were just like I said, gave me their number if you
So
need
cool.
anything,
Yeah, that is
and
cool.
and they're
big
I think
sister vibes. Yeah.
big sister vibes. Yeah, totally. Like nothing weird. It's like
Yeah. They didn't want anything from you to help you out. Right?
yeah, it's like we're all just trying to figure it out, you know.
Yeah, and I was thinking about how like you feel like you were being yourself, but at the same time you're like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You're still becoming a woman. You're
Yeah,
a
you're still
teenager. You're still going
discovering.
through all that. And like you don't really know who you are then anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? You're
Well,
really not
it's-
supposed to know who you are at that
It's
age.
speaking of therapy, it's interesting you say that because I was just talking about with my therapist that like I never had a chance to rebel when I was a kid because my parents were very loose. I didn't have any rules. And then I started working when I was 14. So I was off traveling and sometimes alone and getting to do
You grew up
whatever I
fast.
wanted.
Became an adult fast.
And a lot of kids get their identity through rebelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I never had a chance to do that. I just like, oh, cut your hair, do this. Like I didn't know who the fuck I was supposed to be at that age. And so I think, you know, especially becoming an adult, there was a lot of like ups and downs emotionally, mentally speaking. And now it's like I finally feel like I'm starting to find my identity. And
It's awesome. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
it is beautiful. And it's like, okay, I'm 38. I wish it would have happened at 28, 18, whatever. But it's finally fucking happening to where it's like, this is me. You like it.
And
You
you're
like
comfortable
it.
in
You
your own
don't. You
skin.
don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
totally. So it's, yeah, it's interesting. I think girls who start that young or anybody who starts working that young and
Right.
is kind of being told what box they need to fit in or whatever, it's like, it's hard
be
to be
hard.
yourself. And
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of
I
pressure.
imagine
man.
I was like, that's a tough job.
Crazy
It's
pressure,
really
man.
tough to
I
imagine.
love how now like they ask Max, what do you do besides this?
Right.
And so
Totally.
Max
Yeah.
had to send a video, him skating, playing drums on stage with us, and surfing, and then a quick interview. And it was so cute. He did it on the road, sent it to them. They loved it. So it's not just like your pretty face. It's like, what do you do?
they want personality.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah. So cool, man. I
Absolutely.
love
That
that.
is really cool.
Yeah.
No, it is cool. And I think social media has a lot to do with it as well. It's like
Yes.
almost anybody could be a model now, you
Right.
know?
And
It's,
that's your resume on your page. Like people see everything you're about
Totally.
on your page.
but it's all about this personality or what you're up to,
Personality, yeah.
what you're doing. And that's what's making people interesting. You know, it's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
just looks or kind of what's on our outside. Or it's like people are actually, oh, fuck, they're an amazing skateboarder. They're an
Yeah.
amazing
Right,
surfer.
right.
He could play the drums like a motherfucker. You know, like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
attracted to that. Like
Totally.
what this person's about, which is really cool. And I think social media has
It's
a
less
lot
shallow,
to say
right?
for it.
It's less shallow
Totally,
than it was
yeah.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. It's like giving people a voice, and humans are just turned on to cool people. You're like interesting people, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's pretty cool.
Well, fuck, man.
I love
This has
that.
been an awesome conversation, man.
Fuck, yeah.
Do you have any other things you want to ask her about? Or?
Oh, let me think. No, I think for now.
How
yeah.
much time do you spend in Brazil?
A lot of time, actually. I
a
mean,
good
this
question.
past 2 years, I haven't been there because of the pandemic. But normally, I just was there for like a month, and then it really depends. But second home, when it's whenever I go back, I feel like it's going home, and it's nice to go back. So it's wonderful.
What part of Brazil do you usually
Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo, yeah.
Yeah, usually Sao Paulo. You've been to Brazil?
Yeah, we
many
were
times?
just Metallica was just down there in April.
Yeah, that's
And
right. I
so
remember.
we were down
yeah.
there for a couple weeks. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
where do you
God.
like to go when you go there? I'm curious.
In
because-
Brazil?
Yeah. 'Cause-
Unfortunately, we haven't had a lot of time, or I haven't had a chance to really like hunker down in Brazil.
Oh, man.
But I love some of my closest girlfriends are Brazilian. And I just love the energy there, especially
Yeah.
around music.
So much
like,
passion and
especially
love and
music.
appreciation.
Oh my
man.
God! Like I honestly, when I see rock shows down there or any
Oh,
shows
yeah,
down
yeah,
there,
especially
I watch
South
the
America.
crowd more than I
Same.
watch a
Yeah.
band. Like because it's just like
Such an emotional
Yeah.
experience.
it's so
man.
emotional,
Totally.
yeah, and people are so
They're
passionate.
They appreciate it so
psyched
much,
up.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a beautiful place. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to spend a lot of
oh man, you
time,
guys
but the
gotta-
food, talk about food.
Woo.
Damn.
Man, yeah,
So good.
it's really
Yeah.
incredible.
Um,
Great food.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How did you meet your man?
That's a
Lars?
Good person.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't want to get personal.
No, we again, music, just like hanging out around shows and concerts, and we had hung a lot together with our respective exes a lot, like just at after shows or ran into each other at parties, and just
throughout the years going to shows.
Totally just running into each other and be like, oh, hey, good to see you. And so we knew each other for several years before we started dating, and we just happened to run into each other like right place, right time.
Wow.
Both of us were single at the time, and it's like, oh, hey, like seeing him in a different light. And and it's weird. I was never attracted to him when I knew him as a friend. I was always like, fuck, Lars is the nicest guy. Like he was, you guys know, like we meet so many people, and it's like sometimes especially for me, it's like people don't remember my name, and it's like, oh, what's your name again? And Lars would always make a point to come up and say, hey, Jess, how you doing? And it was just the sweetest guy. But I was, like I said, most times we hung out, we were both with our respective exes. And so I was so in love with my ex, and till this day, I love him. And so I never looked at Lars like that at all. But like I said, we just ran into each other, right place, right time. We were both single, and it was like, oh, hey, like I just saw him in a completely different light, and we've been together ever since.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is it hard dating a musician? Because I think it'd be hard. I mean,
I don't know. Of course, I could understand, especially for someone who doesn't know or isn't used to this kind of traveling.
But you were, because you were traveling since you were a kid.
I get it. So if I were someone who didn't know that, I could see how it would be difficult. Like if I had just kind of like a 9-to-5 job and my husband was off for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, 4 weeks at a time doing God knows what, and I just didn't know, I can understand that, but I get it, like I've been doing the same thing, the same gig in that sense with traveling for so long that and I'm grateful that especially with modeling, like I could kind of travel from anywhere for a job.
Since you were young, you were traveling.
So it's like I could go with Lars, and I'm on the road with him most of the time. Yeah, totally. And I love it. Like saying, like I love being around music. So it's in that sense it's not hard, and he'll even say it, he's the biggest Metallica fan on the planet, so he's also such a giant music fan, and we're just like
so cool.
We both just love music, so it's for me it's
beautiful.
It's not hard at all, to be honest. It's really wonderful. I can't say.
It's not like she's traveling like how we travel. Okay, maybe you travel, but I don't travel like that. She's in the bus. She's flying. She's chilling, man.
No, much fucking respect to you guys. Like the last time I was out with them in the summer, and I like work from my phone or whatever. But like, I don't know how you guys actually do this kind of travel and then get up on stage and like emote that kind of energy to a crowd. Like I've always respected it, but especially after this summer, I was like exhausted, and
you weren't performing,
and I wasn't doing shit. Like I was just getting to like look on Happy Cow. What restaurant am I gonna go to next? And but like I have found like such a new respect for you guys, because it's like to do this kind of travel, which I'm not complaining at all. It's like such an incredible gift that we've been giving to travel the world the way we do, but it takes a lot on your body, and it's like for you guys to actually get up and like get a fucking crowd of thousands of people going. Like I have so much respect, and like
doing it in a van too.
That's what I'm saying. It's like any way you fucking do it.
We just did a van for 5 days. And I was like, man, this is a long 5 days. The shows are great, but the vans, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely know, and I'll never forget. It's like hard to forget that feeling of like, oh man, just keep it together. Like just the thoughts that go through your mind. But at the same time, it's such a beautiful moment to be with people that you love to be with, you play with,
Best friends, brothers.
Yeah, and it's something super special. You never really forget that, and I'm so grateful for that. Even the van stuff. And
me too, man.
Sleeping on floors or whatever that happened, was part of. I was just with a smile, like I'm here. You know, I'm traveling. I'm doing things that I want to do.
You're living, yeah.
And I think that makes you really young. And where people are like, oh man, they're like, you look great for your age.
That's why you look so young,
and you feel, so young.
Do actually.
And I was like, it's because I think
I'm only like 2 feet away from you guys, and you do look good from this angle.
It's incredible. I think it has to do a lot with doing something you love and you feel, so passionate about.
Yeah.
You know, it's
keeps you young, keeps you like.
But I do like it's fun, like the van stuff. You can laugh. There's a lot of laughing going on because the situations that are happening. Like, wow, I can't believe this, but. It's like you're really living life, You're really in that moment. And
I'm very lucky to do what we love and play music and travel and all that, man.
And also do it with, like, another thing I respect so much about both of you, and especially Lars, who's been doing this for 40 years with these guys. I mean, being in a band, these are relationships that you guys have, and it's like, just like I have like family members I don't talk to,
Right.
and
no, you're right.
The fact that you guys can like keep these relationships solid says so much, and I think that shows in the longevity of and like looking young and happy and being grateful for what you do, because it's like you guys have found that spark with and it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It's like, fuck, I just love being with this person, and that turns me on and makes me like excited for life and living, and it's like, it's so cool. And I respect that you guys travel the way you do and get up and like get a fucking crowd of thousands of people going, but also the fact that you keep these relationships intact like during that travel. And I think that
I mean, it's a dysfunctional family at times. You're bickering brothers at
course,
times. But
it's
at the end of the day, when you get on stage and you have this connection, you wrote these songs together, and it's beautiful. And you're looking at the guy on the stage. You yelled that earlier in the van.
Right.
You're boys. You love each other. But then you sing these songs. You harmonize together. The crowd singing your words. It's fucking.
Yeah, it's magical.
I can't explain it.
Yeah, it's hard to explain, but it's definitely a magical moment.
Yeah. It's wonderful. This has been a magical moment here, too.
This has been a very
Enjoy
magical
yourself,
moment.
your first podcast.
Very much, yes.
You were wonderful. Open book,
Well,
beautiful stories.
Thank you.
I have a whole newfound respect and view of you as well.
Thanks, Toby.
Here in your journey.
Thank you guys for being gentle on my first podcast.
It's easy peasy over here. I'm surprised you're not like you're on hyper from the coffee. You're so chill, too.
Yeah, it's so weird because like when I first started getting back to coffee a couple months ago after like my matcha run or whatever bullshit, I felt that rush.
Yeah.
That rush only lasted like 2 days, and now it's like it almost does nothing, but it's I don't know, it's a weird fucking thing, coffee.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy you're in a good place and you're happy with yourself and comfortable in your body and all that. And
Thank you.
Are there any more interviews or festivals that you're going to be doing?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing Aftershock up in Sacramento.
I know that one.
Sacramento.
I almost went to that last year because my brothers in the Offspring.
Oh, that's right.
And they played with Metallica
they played last year.
year.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
That's this year again?
That's this year again.
When's that?
That is the weekend of is it the 6th? October 6th?
Who's playing that this year?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Taipei, Houston. I got to give a shout out to my boys. Slipknot, Kiss, Muse.
So who are you going to interview?
Lamb of God.
Oh, shout out to Randy.
Yeah,
love
I love. I actually met Randy for the first time just this last weekend. We were watching Slipknot together and stood next together, and what a sweetheart. And he's toured with Metallica a lot, so I have the best stories from Lars. Yeah, Randy's such a sweetheart.
Slipknot kill it too, man. My son loves Slipknot.
They
bro.
are.
Wow.
I said I was going to go watch them for 20 minutes.
Dude.
I stayed the whole fucking time. It's like a madhouse, like an amazing madhouse up there. It's like.
You just don't know anything about the band.
I know.
I went and saw him. I was like, holy shit.
It's really grown to that level. Like, it started like 1999 when I was like, just got back in the band.
No, you're right, yeah.
And went on tour with them, and I was like, who is this band? And there was like, the lineup was like Slipknot headlining, then it was like Slayer, and I was like, why is this band? They're so young. They're headlining. And then I saw the show, and I was like, okay, they really got like a young crowd. It's really cool. A whole different generation. And I was like, man, this is really impressive. Seeing them now, like only like maybe a month and a half ago, it was on point.
It was
I
rocking.
was so like impressed by how much they've grown, to level. Their fan base is incredible. What they're doing on stage is, I haven't seen anything like that. The energy level is off the scale. It's intense, that show. And I was watching on the side just like, oh my God. Like, it's so impressive.
Shout out to Jay Weinberg, my man. He's a beast on the drums.
They are all.
Kills it, dude.
he fucking killed it in
Max,
Kentucky.
do you want to say
The
anything about Slipknot, Max? Why you like Slipknot? What do you think it is? Your attraction to Slipknot? Because you turn me on to them. Talk in the mic though. Pull it to your face, man.
Wow.
Come on, man. Joey's basically gonna kill you.
I just like the heavy, intense, loud, screaming music. That's it. And the drum, Jay Weinberg is one of the best. And
Do you like their masks?
yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, I don't really have an opinion. I mean, I think
But you
it's
really
fun.
love them. Like you always rocking them.
Yeah, all the time. Old albums and new albums.
It's very theatrical.
It's-
You know, like every detail on the stage is
the
like thought
whole
out.
fucking package,
Yeah.
I have to say, works. Like,
It's
God bless
impressive.
them for
Yeah.
rocking those masks during this, especially in the
know.
summertime. I can't even
Dude, I don't
imagine. Like,
But you know what's
bless their
crazy is,
hearts,
like,
but it's fucking
changing
cool.
into character.
Yeah.
Because they're so different
Yeah.
people off stage, like sweet and nice. But I was terrified. You know, like
Totally,
it's
yeah.
like they switch into a completely like their characters on stage, and I was like, wow, this is so theatrical, musical, like every aspect of it. I love.
It's crazy. Like I said, I went to see him for 20 minutes and ended up staying like almost 2 hours. It was like I
Wow.
just like could not take my eyes off of them. It
Was
was
there
so rocking.
a moment of time where nobody knew who they were and they wore masks before they showed their faces?
I think so,
From
right?
the jump,
yeah.
was it like that, Derek? Like,
I don't know.
I
because
think so.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that time
Yeah,
period
me
was,
either.
but
'Cause I
I'm
thought
pretty
that was
sure
so
people
cool.
didn't know like what they looked like or who they were.
oh
or
no, they
anything.
weren't showing their
Yeah.
faces in the very beginning.
Yeah,
I remember
totally.
that.
I thought that was
phase.
cool to be like that big and famous.
Yeah.
But you could walk around
Yeah,
where you
you
wanted to
couldn't
go.
take
Totally.
photos
Yeah,
of
because
them.
now
Yeah.
it's like Corey was walking around this festival and
Yeah.
I mean he's being hounded left and right, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Even
but
backstage,
yeah.
probably. Who knows?
Even
Oh, yeah,
backstage.
even
Oh no,
backstage.
like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I get it because when I'm with Lars at
Oh.
these things, it's like,
Forget about it.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like we can't like go 2 feet without the guy getting stopped, and
Yeah.
I
so
have
it
a
was
good
like
question.
that for Corey at Louder Than
Oh, yeah.
Life. For
Can
sure.
you and Lars just go to the movies or go to Starbucks or go out in public and people always recognize him? And does he wear disguises?
No, he doesn't wear
No
disguises.
disguises?
No,
Oh, man.
minus the mask over the last couple years.
But I'm saying, like, can you
um,
guys, is it always stopped? Is it always...
Not always, no. But I mean, there definitely are some really random places. Will be trying to think
gotta
of like
be.
the most random place.
Like, can
and
you two
stop,
just go to
but-
the movies?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Oh
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, we love going to the movies. It's
Okay.
like one of our
Okay.
favorite things to do is go to the movies.
Do you have to
So-
have security always?
No.
Okay.
Okay,
No.
nice. That's great.
Okay.
To hear.
No,
Yeah.
no, 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 no.
'Cause
Yeah, we
he's
went.
pretty
and-
low key. Like, he could wear a hat or whatever, just like...
Yeah, we actually went and saw Arch Enemy a few
Oh, you
months
went to the
ago.
show.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right,
and
right.
who was it back? We saw someone. He's like, "You don't have security," and like a friend we ran into. We're like, "No, should we?"
That's cool. I think that's awesome.
No,
really cool.
so
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
he doesn't. Lars' kind of thing is security draws more attention.
True.
You
It's
know,
very
and
true.
of
Yeah.
course I understand it maybe needed it. Like, you know, Corey was walking around backstage at Louder Than Life with security, and I get it because
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah,
that guy
yeah.
is like, you know, the mayor of Louder Than Life, and so it's like he needs
Right,
if he needs some
yeah.
distance or whatever. Like I get it. So some situations, of course, but
Yeah.
no, we never.
You get to live a pretty normal life. Just travel. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Oh hell
awesome.
yeah.
Because
Hell yeah.
if I had security, I would have definitely like a woman as a security.
Yeah,
guard,
totally.
For sure.
I know someone,
They're
a
the best,
pretty
I
high
think.
profile person who has
Yeah.
a female.
Yeah.
She's like,
Wow.
I love
Doesn't draw a
when
lot
she's
of
around.
attention
I'm like,
and-
I feel good. I'm like,
Right, yeah.
oh yeah, she's
Super
around.
low
She's
pro.
good.
Yes,
Super low
that's the
pro.
way to
She's a
go.
badass.
You know.
Well, especially for
She's
you,
a
it's like
badass.
you're so big and so recognizable. Unless you have somebody that's like 8 feet tall, you have to have somebody that's like smaller that doesn't bring more more attention
Yeah.
to you.
Exactly. I would have somebody that doesn't draw a lot of attention, who's a badass. And it would definitely be,
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a dude. I can tell you that.
No, I think
much.
it's smart. The guys
Yeah.
who have or women, whoever have like these big dudes
Yeah.
that just draw so much attention. But also, Lars especially loves his fans. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
he knows that's like where it's at is
Yeah.
the fans. You know, Lars wouldn't be playing 40 years later,
It's
doing what he's
amazing,
doing
man.
40
No,
years
the-
later if
the
it weren't for the
fans are-
fans.
The-
So
the-
you guys know, like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
going to Crossroads
All
with you
about the
guys.
fucking fans. I mean, that's a big thing with Metallica.
It's a
Is like
massive
their fans are their family. Like
Yeah.
that's no joke to them. So no, we don't have security. We don't know none
No,
of that.
because the
Like
2 times the Hungry guys, he was awesome. First time meeting with Crossroads, then we went to
Yeah.
the barracks the next day.
oh shit, that's right.
He was
yeah,
like trying to
that's
skate.
right.
It was awesome. He was hanging out. Like
Yeah.
it's really nice. Super chill, humble.
He was trying to skate.
Thank you for
Yeah,
saying
he
that.
got on the board a
Oh,
little
that
bit.
could be
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
dangerous.
tried is the operative word. Yeah.
And there goes that tour.
Yeah.
There was no
Lasted
chorus,
about 6 seconds, and that
no,
was
they
that.
just doing something up there at the They did recorded some songs for like anniversary of the Black Album, and they did something up there at the
Griffith Observatory.
Yes,
yeah.
that just happened.
I think
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
for Jimmy Kimmel,
Yes,
if I'm
it
not.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was for the release of the Blacklist.
Yeah,
exactly.
so we had no gig, so he could come on
Okay.
skateboard. It was cool.
It was really cool. Yeah, it was
Right.
fun at the barracks. That was fucking cool.
Well, fuck. Well, tonight's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm
It'll be
excited.
beautiful. I'm excited for that.
I'm so excited you guys will be there.
Yeah. How many
hang a little
songs
bit.
is he playing tonight?
He's
You know?
doing
This will come out after anyway.
2
so
songs.
we're not
Yeah,
doing it
no.
yet.
He's doing 2 songs with Geezer.
Nice.
Geezer Butler.
OG Vegan, Black
OG
Sabbath.
Vegan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I have some Animal Place swag that I had overnighted from Animal Place.
Nice.
Because when
Good.
Lars was like, Geezer's right next to us, I was like, fuck, Geezer. I was like, I need to give him like an Animal Place
Oh,
shirt.
hell yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was overnighted to us, and I just got that this morning.
Nice.
So I'm excited to get an Animal Place shirt on Geezer. And then with the rest of the Foos, doing what does he do? He's doing a couple Black Sabbath songs, and I'm trying to remember
Yo.
which Sabbath
Nice.
songs.
Fire.
Oh my God.
I think Paranoid's one of them.
Wow, dude. Exciting.
Are you a big Foo Fighters fan?
Yeah, more and more. You know what I love about the Foo Fighters? Like when someone asks me like what's the most rock and roll moment I've ever had, it's always the Foo Fighters. Like I remember we saw them at Glastonbury and
Huge festival.
every band has like their, you guys know, like their kind of ritual before going on stage. And I'll say this here, what the fuck with Metallica, it's like nobody goes in the dressing room but Metallica,
Yeah,
you
it
know.
makes
And
sense,
so
yeah.
it's, which is of course I respect it.
Seems
It's
like
like
obvious thing for
of
bands,
course,
yeah.
like they got to
Totally.
do their thing, they got to change. It's like the four of them
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
share a dressing room, and
awesome, man.
which is fucking cool after 40 years.
Incredible.
But like with the Foo Fighters, we kind of show up to go say hi right before they're going on stage. Like literally they're about to go on stage. And so I'm waiting outside the dressing room. Lars walks in and I'm like, I'm a chick. I'm going to hang outside the dressing room. Let them. Pat fucking Smear opens the door and he's
Best.
like, what you doing, girl? And I was like, just hanging. He's like, get your ass in here. And I was like, okay, you know, and I just like walked in and they're all like drinking champagne and whatever the fuck
Pat
they're
Smear's a
doing.
G, what a
And
legend.
Oh yeah.
but like right before they're going on stage, and that was just to me like it's like it's only rock and roll, you know what I mean? And that's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, they kind of are the epitome of that. Like it's just it's
Totally.
only rock and roll, and like it's. So I just love those. They're just so
Yeah.
sweet, those
Yeah.
guys, and
Totally.
of course
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like Dave is like to go from Nirvana to
He's a G.
this.
He's
It's
so
like
cool.
just. Even Lars, it's like, who the fuck is this? Like, how
Yeah.
does this guy keep going the way he's going?
I mean,
Like,
I-
when does
I
he
admire him
sleep?
so much. I mean, I'm so happy that he is such a cool person.
Yeah.
Like
Who?
I'm a big fan
Dave.
of Dave.
Yeah, it's
From the-
almost
always
like-
nice
from
when I
the
see him.
get go, you know.
Yeah.
So I've always like been finally meeting him. I was
We
like, wow.
we knew him of
Yeah.
his punk band Scream, so
Yeah.
we saw him
Yeah,
in the
that-
'80s before
Shit.
any
yeah,
of this.
and that's so we're already
Insane.
fans.
Yeah, we already
like,
know
big
from
fans
that. Yeah.
of that.
So his journey is just incredible, man.
yeah.
Coming from Virginia,
Incredible.
it's just
journey.
incredible, man.
All of them are just such
Yeah.
sweethearts and
Yeah, their
so
attitude.
just
And they
yeah.
kill it. They kill it.
Yeah, thank you to Shiflett for inviting us tonight, my family. It's gonna be awesome. He was on the pod. He's a beautiful soul. Chris Shiflett. Shout out to Chris Shiflett.
Yeah, no, we're stoked. It'll be a of course we all wish this night weren't happening, you know,
Exactly.
rest in peace Taylor, but
Yeah.
I remember with Chris's you know, there was a nice big tribute at the Forum for Chris Cornell, which was
Yeah.
just it was just such like it gives me goosebumps, like
Yeah.
just good vibes. You know, everybody was there just so full of love, and to kind of see
It's gonna be beautiful tonight. It's gonna be.
It's gonna be a
emotional,
beauty, yeah, really emotional. And like we're saying, like those guys are just good guys, and everybody wants to be there and support. So
If his son plays drums again, I'm gonna lose it.
I'm gonna lose it with you.
That
Yeah,
footage
we'll
was
just we'll
unreal,
cry
man.
together. Yeah.
And he was incredible. It was incredible.
Shane,
man.
yeah, what a sweet boy. Yeah, just beautiful boy. It was yeah, Lars was standing on the stage at the Wembley Stadium one and sent me like videos from the stage, and just like
Wow.
the fucking
Yeah.
energy coming from that kid, like just
Amazing.
breaks your heart. And
We have to get you back to your husband because you're going to be late for sound check, too.
Yeah.
It's already 4:30. We have to get you back, right?
Oh my
Is it
God,
4:30?
really?
Yeah, we have to get you back.
Oh my
No
God.
fucking way. It's 4:30. Have we been
didn't
talking
realize
for like
it
2.5 hours?
Is Lars going to get mad at us? It's only been 2
No,
hours.
he's not going to
It's
get mad.
It's 2 hours exactly.
No, I'll head out of here. It's all
So
good.
this is your first podcast experience. Thank you for
Yeah.
being here.
Thank you so
I
much.
hope you don't do any
guys.
more, just ours.
Yeah.
I officially will only do this podcast.
There
No,
it
it's
is. You
wonderful.
heard it here
We've been talking
first.
about doing this for so long. I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
You were
It's
great.
really an honor to do this with the two of you guys. And
Awesome.
Max.
Max is
Yeah,
here.
Max
His
made an
mouth is full.
appearance
Jesus,
full of Triscuits.
look at
Yeah.
him go.
I think those are
Triscuits,
Triscuits.
yeah,
Yeah.
What the fuck year is it, man?
No, this is a fucking honor. Thank you guys for having me. This is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so Animal Place they can look up. And they
Please look up Animal Place. It is really just, I'm so passionate about them, my heart and soul. Just an incredible group of people that are really making a difference.
and look
That's
out
good
for
to
you with
hear.
Licorice Pizza project.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Licorice Pizza Records, Rolling Life Studios.
And then
Got
your
some
Instagram
cool
is just
shit
your
coming.
name on the gram. You have a website too or no?
No, I do not
Okay.
have
It's
one,
okay.
not yet. But
It's coming.
like I said, I'm just trying to figure out Instagram. So
And the TikToks.
like
The
living
TikToks.
in the dark. I don't even have TikTok.
It's
Like I'm
okay,
living in the
it's all
fucking
right.
dark ages over here.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Toby.
Derek.
Thank you, Derek.
Yeah,
thank,
thank
you
you,
both
Max.
so much.
So awesome.
Love you,
man.
Max.
Bye, everybody. Signing off. I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swiped the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life One Chance podcast is now with Removery. I have a code. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. Call 866-934-4570 or go to Removery.com. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations, US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology, cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Once again, go to Removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out. Yo, people always ask me what kind of frames I'm rocking. I've been rocking Caddis for a couple years. They make amazing progressive readers, which I wear. Also, they make sunglass readers, anti-glare, anti-smudge coating, anti-scratch, and anti-aging. That's why I look mad young when I wear them. I'm just kidding. But they make amazing frames. Caddis, so stoked to have you guys part of the podcast. You can go to caddislife.com/Toby10 and get $10 off your first purchase. Stoked. Thank you, Caddis. Welcome to the fam. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. They have now blessed me with my own code. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst. Stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives.